Sorry, I was a bit far from the mic. Hello, everybody. Good morning. Thank you all for coming out. There's quite a few of you this morning. I hope everyone's doing well. There's so many of you. I can't even say hello to everyone. But quickly, I just want to let you guys know what's been happening. Our next chapter for Arc 5 is coming out shortly for our members. So if you are a member, probably by Monday, we will have all of Chapter 63 ready for you. I believe that's the next one. The beginning of the Liliana chapters. And then once we've completed all the Liliana chapters, we'll release one at a time to our members. The rest of the public will be able to see the Liliana chapters all at once when we're ready, probably by the end of the month. So you will all get the honor of hearing Wolfiana yet again soon. The past day, I have been working on gathering some new team members. We have a bunch of new mods. So if you are a mod in our chat right now, just say hello, mod here. If I forgot to mod you really quick, and I'll get your mod perms. But don't go crazy with that, because I know exactly who I interviewed. It's so great to see everybody. We also have some new VAs on board. We have some new editors. We're very excited to get started. Our editors will be getting their Arc 5 chapters 1 to 39 audio today, so they get to get started on editing today too. So we want to welcome everyone and give a new hello to all these new friends. And thank you, Billy, too, for gifting 5 memberships. We really appreciate that. Thank you. You're helping them see Wolfiana sooner. I appreciate you, Belly. All right, without further ado, I'm going to bring the cast on to introduce themselves and say hello. All right, friends, I am back. Citrus, take us away.
Oh God, hi, I'm Citrus, otherwise known as True Iridescence on Twitch. I'm happy to be here. I'm one of our new voice actors.
Don Smart.
You're still muted.
Yeah.
Dunspice, you're welcome to introduce yourself too once you're unmuted. But if you're busy, that's okay too. We'll come back to you.
All right.
All right, we'll come back to Dunsparce. You just send us a message in staff general chat when you're ready. Hello, everybody. I'm Kyles. You know me. Hi, you know me well. I'm your Amelia and random others and the stream controller. Yay! Maddie.
Hi, I'm Maddie. I'm a team lead. I run the I run the Twitter and whatnot.
I'm Palazard, or Connor. I do the proofreads and edits for the early arcs and the live reads from Arc 1 and going into 2 later on, hopefully pretty soon.
Hi everyone, I'm Pao. I'm honored to be here, and go easy on me, please.
Hi everybody, I'm Vivi. I am your puck and narrator. That's it. That's all I got.
Hello, I am the Wolfie Boy, also known as Wolfclaw, and I voiced the Subaru and another beloved character who some of you haven't met yet. Welcome!
Beloved is a stretch, Wolf.
Correct. Yay, we have fans in the crowd. Welcome, everyone. Hello, Avi and Current. I see you too. All right, friends. Are we ready for reading chapter 20? Let's pull her up. I also gotta pull my food out of the oven, so you guys, you focus on that.
Kyle, before you go, do you want to throw the link into chat for anyone wanting to read along with us?
It's pinned, I think.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, sure is. All right, everyone. We're gonna have Felt, Amelia, and Elsa, or Felt and Elsa, still needing some VAs for this one, as well as the narrator for chapter 20.
Oh, true. We don't have the Elsa or Felt.
Who was the person who said that they could that they could act as a child earlier?
Me, but I'm hard for Pat.
Oh yes, that's right. Connor, go for it.
I can't go high, so it's not me.
Sorry. Oh gosh. We have
Vivi or
Elsa missing
Citrus?
today.
I can take either Elsa or Felt if we'd like.
Yeah, me too.
Ooh.
Well,
Well, Amelia's
well,
also on the table, so
fight for it.
Yeah. So Amelia, Feltz, and Elsa. I will do any of them. So Citrus, Vivi, take your pick for both, and I will do the other one.
You got a preference, Citrus?
Fight.
I can take Elsa.
Okay,
Okay.
Elsa.
Aw, no
I-
fighting.
No. Why is there gonna be a fucking fight, Maddie?
For
Well,
entertainment
this is 3
purposes.
chapters of straight battle.
Vivi, do you want to be Feltz?
Me?
Yeah. Get that gremlin. out
Yeah, I
here?
said I did.
Oh.
Yeah, no, I think I can do Felt.
All right. I'll also do Rom for his one line in whatever chapter it's in.
Perfect. All right, and Pao, do you want to narrate this first one for us?
Holy narrate. Okay. Talking to me? Oh,
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh, I can try.
you'll do great.
Oh, okay. Do
Yeah,
I get
so
started now?
did you get
Okay.
the link to the chapters there?
I do, yes.
Okay, so yeah, just start right as soon as the solid line is over, introduce the chapter name, and then just jump in.
Yeah, I'll just take 1 second to answer chat real quick. I will introduce our mods and new VAs a bit more in between chapter 20 and 21. We'll just get started to get all the anxious energy out of the way. And then, and then we'll meet them all from here. We have a few that are still coming in. Also, Dunsparce's Wi-Fi cut out, so we'll hear from them very soon. Yes, I'll switch to music, and then Pao can take us away.
One quick thing for Wolf. Subaru speaks English a little bit in this chapter. I bolded whenever he does. Kyles and I talked last night. Go ahead and just go as full chav, extra British as you can to make a point for this.
My time has come. Thank you. Thank you.
Finally, Wolf can let out his true self.
His true authentic self!
Everyone else, if you've not gone through this before, I put the speakers' names in brackets right before each line. And if the intention for how they're speaking is not said immediately, I threw in it in parentheses as well there. So you don't have to read anything between brackets, between parentheses, or the curly braces, which are just translation notes. Otherwise, Pao, whenever you're ready, go ahead and take us forward.
All right. Since this is my first time, this first chapter might have a bit of anxiety added to it. So, all right.
It's the mood.
Arc 1, Chapter 20. The gang's all here. Subaru leaped into Felt's waist and embraced her small body as they fell towards the ground. The instant before he hit the floor, he felt as though steel had singed the hair on the back of his head. It made him shudder, but he forced himself to ignore it thanks to the weight in his arms, and he tried to create some distance as they tumbled. He got on his knees and turned around to find Elsa standing still, with that expression of surprise. Feeling as if he'd gotten one over on her, he donned a twitching smile at his triumph. His smile almost made her retaliate, but she switched to defending against the rapid-fire icicles coming from behind her. Thankful for not Satella's aid, he looked down towards his chest.
Are you okay? It was a desperate situation. So please forgive me if I touched anything I shouldn't have.
I was going to thank you before you said that. Hold on, why'd you do that?
No clue. My body just moved on its own. It's seriously a miracle. Fake miracle. If I had to say, it's because I'm repaying a favour. No. You probably don't know what I'm talking about. You don't.
He released Felt and clenched his fist, congratulating himself for somehow doing a good job. He had managed to repay his debt to her. In the second world, Felt had saved him from Elsa. That was a meaningless memory in this world, and both Felt and Subaru had fallen before to her blade. Even so, Subaru thought the kindness he received hadn't just disappeared. Then he realized that if he was able to move now, he obviously had to see things through.
Alright, I can move. Did that brush with death suddenly strengthen my resolve? Bravado is still bravery. Recklessness is still courage. I'll do it! It's time I do it! I gotta do it! I have to do it! I'm gonna do it!
Hey, bro?
Listen up! Listen me! Look, Felt! I'm going to stop buying time. Just like Rom did before he fell in battle. I'll try to make an opening. Use that to run away. Run straight out of the entrance with all you've got. Don't look back. Escape. Got it?
Absolutely not! Are you really telling me just to turn tail and run?
Her red eyes looked up at him as if glaring. He accepted the challenge and brought his face close. He immediately noticed when for a moment his strong will caused Felt's expression to falter.
That's exactly right. Turn around, tuck your tail in, and run. To be honest, that's what I want to do. I don't want to stay in this violent hellscape a moment longer than I have to.
He patted her blonde hair with all his might and then took a breath.
But you're 15, and I'm 18, so you're probably the youngest one here. Therefore, we obviously have to choose whatever option gives you the best chance of survival. It's only natural.
What are you? Don't screw around. You were cowering in fear just moments ago.
That was then. This is now. I'm not cowering now, so it's fine. Or, rather, I'll have to do this before the fear paralyzes me again. That's how it is, so run!
Subaru pushed on her forehead to silence any further objection, and then started warming up as he stood up. Rom's club had also fallen out of the giant's hand and tumbled nearby. He picked it up with great effort, and despite its extreme weight, he believed he could still swing it.
I could probably still keep her in check with at least one good strike. Looks like I was right to swing that large bamboo sword around every day pointlessly. To think it was all for this moment. Not bad me.
He sang his own praises as he swung the club, and then held his breath as he waited for the right time. Felt looked like she still had something to say as she held her breath behind him, but he didn't have the time to deal with her indecision right now. Their chances of survival were probably dropping with every second. There wasn't any sign of sluggishness in Elsa's movements as she danced through the ice. Subaru, lacking any real combat experience, couldn't even begin to spot an opening on her. Therefore, the instant Elsa's view was blocked from cutting down at a particularly large icicle, Subaru forgot to even breathe as he brought the club down. It seemed the desperate situation had increased his strength. He had swung the club even faster than expected. It was a blow that could split a human head like a watermelon if he scored a direct hit.
Your aim was excellent, but unfortunately you exuded too much killing intent. It made your attack obvious.
Killing intent? I have no idea how I'm supposed to control that!
Unfortunately, though he attacked from right behind her, Elsa slammed the back of her blade into the club, altering its trajectory to avoid it. As Subaru whined about the failure of his surprise attack, he bared his fangs.
Now! Go, Felt!
As if jolted by a shout, Felt's small body dashed forward, riding wind itself. She reached her top speed in a single step. She ran through the room so fast the human eye couldn't track her, moving past the scattered icicles and frozen floor as her body headed towards the entrance.
You think I'll let her?
To stop her, Elsa drew a knife and threw it from right beside her. Perhaps, as revenge for Felt's interference earlier, the plain-looking knife was going to plunge straight into her back as she ran. But
You'll have to let her go!
picking up a nearby table, Subaru blocked the knife's path. His reflexive reaction produced results. The knife ended up piercing the table and thus could not reach its target. Subaru couldn't help but internally applaud his miraculous feat.
Awesome! But my toes hurt more than expected. Bah!
A long lead kicked him in the side of his head, interrupting his praise midway, and causing him to crash into a wall. The impact was to his shoulder, so his head was fine, but this unexpected force halted his thoughts. The pain set in, and he once again tasted blood in his mouth.
How unusual. I actually feel a little annoyed.
Well, that's just great. That is what you get. I made you lose one. Well, let me enjoy your whining, you loser!
Putting on a show of courage as he got back up, he relentlessly provoked Elsa to draw her attention. He didn't think it was a very reliable plan considering her personality, but as if reading his mind, her smile deepened and she completely disregarded Felt.
Alright, I'll play along. In exchange, don't bore me with your dancing.
Let me warn you, you'd better be prepared if you want to dance with me. I'm rather unrefined, so I'll end up stomping all over your feet.
He ended up taking some mental damage when he remembered how he couldn't dance with the girl he liked at a certain folk dance. He spat out the blood gathering in his mouth and fixed his grip on the club he was holding. He wouldn't have had many chances to use it, so instead of thinking about using it like Rom, he focused completely on meeting Elsa head-on as she approached.
Don't forget about me!
As Elsa focused on the opponent in front of her, she was suddenly assailed by some ice from behind. She swung her blade without even turning around and deflected the attack. Her senses transcended human understanding. Subaru couldn't even crack jokes at this point.
I'm tired of that game, though. Do you think you can still entertain me?
She asked in a low voice, her smile the color of blood. This smile sent a chill down Subaru's spine. He then glanced at Not Satella, and when their eyes met, he gave her a slight nod.
If you have some kind of hidden power or something, now would be a good time to use it.
I do have a trump card, but if I use it, I'll be the only one left.
I've got this! I can still do it! It's too late to use your trump card! Why give up so soon? The fight is still even! Let's do this, me!
Subaru waved his limbs around to show he was in good health, trying desperately to stop her from giving up on everything. His frantic expression caused Not Satella's lips to relax even though they were in the midst of battle.
I'm not going to use it. Noble, you're trying so hard. Let's struggle all we can. Crying to a parent is a last resort.
Her expression formed a defeated-looking smile as she said this to him, and Subaru began to feel an unfamiliar sensation rise up from within him.
That's unusual for me. I'm not that kind of person at all.
He had always been apathetic towards those surrounding him, unbothered by whatever happened around him. No matter what problem or concerns arose, he never chose to face them earnestly or get involved. Instead, he would just casually wait for them to go away, like a cloud drifting by. Having aspirations for others, or having expectations placed on himself, he believed he never really cared about that, but just now he felt it. Disappointment from failing to meet an expectation he didn't even realize he had. Subaru had only ever seen Not Satella looking tense, having a brooding expression, or be focused on searching for something. He didn't realize until then, but he had been hoping to get to see her smile. The expression she wore, that of looking like she was on the verge of giving up, like she had already resigned herself to whatever was going to happen. To think that was the first smile he had ever received from her. There was no way he would accept that.
That doesn't count.
Huh?
Never mind. It was nothing. I'm seriously fired up here. I'm going to do this, damn it! I definitely won't let you use that trump card!
He thrust his finger out and announced this to both Not Satella and Elsa. He stomped his feet and sent spittle flying as he howled in excitement.
Don't make that sort of face. You're wasting your beauty. And you damn sadist of the year, read the mood. Don't make her look like that. You're wasting your beauty too.
Seems like you have a little too much energy.
Because you haven't managed to spill a single person's blood. But this club, Koketsu, has been lusting for your blood all evening. Oh! Oh!
He swung his club on the spot, like a bat, Pulling by its weight, Subaru staggered around, flustered as Elsa pointed her knife at him.
That's enough fooling around. It's about time we started dancing. Do try to keep up.
You two! Don't think this will be over too quickly! Don't underestimate me! I'll toss you with my right and slam you with my left!
As Elsa leaned forward slightly, Subaru pointed his club at her as if he was announcing a home run. Because of this unnecessary gesture, he wasn't able to respond in time when she leaped at him. He readied the club in a panic and prepared to strike the slender figure flying towards him.
There is a strong ring as he swings from the side and he blows Elsa's head off!
He put everything he had into a merciless swing, prepared for the horrific sight it would create. He wouldn't be surprised if a direct hit from this turned part of her into mincemeat.
As if I could beat her by showing mercy!
The urgency of the situation meant Subaru couldn't even consider holding back. In response to this lethal swing, Elsa lowered her stance even further with practiced movements. Having avoided the attack, she continued to approach as if slithering on the ground.
You damned Spider-Woman!
Well, you are trapped in my web.
Seeing the blade reaching up to him, Subaru immediately threw himself backward. However, he still couldn't escape the blade's range. In an instant, so short you missed it if you blinked, the memory of the first time he stood up on his own two legs flashed through his mind. His parents clapped and exclaimed, "This kid might be a genius."
Damn it! Looking at my current situation after that flashback, there couldn't possibly be a more pathetic memory!
The embarrassment this memory caused him made his knees shoot up. He hadn't even been aiming for anything else, but Elsa ended up taking a direct hit to her torso as she slipped toward him. She let out an erotic moan of pain, and her blade's path was thrown off slightly. In its place,
An ice shield! Nice cover!
I'm not very good at forming in where I want to. I almost ended up creating an ice sculpture there.
You mean one of her, not me, right?
a block of ice appeared near his face and stopped the blade. Subaru immediately spoke his thanks as he retreated, and Satella stated this as she wiped her forehead. She dodged his question and started firing another barrage of ice at Elsa to keep her in check.
You insects are starting to become an annoyance.
Hey now, don't go underestimating insects. You might be allergic to our bite.
You're acting pretty cocky now that you're in a safe spot.
Elsa was focused on dodging the hail of ice, and Subaru was attempting to break her focus with his taunts. He would have loved to slip behind her to attack, but if he carelessly stepped into that barrage, he would probably be taken out by his own ally. That was probably why not Satella's attacks seemed weaker whenever he was fighting. This was the level of teamwork you could expect from an impromptu team formed on the spot.
However, the two worked together to overcome this trial, and their bond deepened. Before they knew it, trust had turned into love, and their burning passion could no longer be stopped.
I have no clue what you're whispering over there, but it's clearly something completely irrelevant.
Think of another girl while you've got a woman right in front of you. How very boorish.
They both hated it!
Subaru watched as Elsa continued to deflect the ice attacks. Elsa had somehow kept her composure, even in the midst of the rapid-fire attacks. Subaru continued to try and think while occasionally cutting in with an attack of his own before immediately retreating. The situation continued to steadily get worse, and it was obvious that if Elsa felt like it, she could easily take out Subaru just as she did to Old Man Rom. It only seemed like he was able to put up a fight because she wasn't giving him her full attention or power, not to mention that Subaru's fear would not let him step any further into lethal range. If Subaru had more courage than brains, she'd probably end this equilibrium in a single swing. Either way, it didn't seem his cowardice could prove useful for much longer. The severity of her slashes was gradually increasing, and Subaru was steadily accumulating cuts as he failed to evade in time. There were cuts on his arms, his calf, under his armpit, and even a shallow one on his neck. His gray jersey was starting to turn red as blood stained it.
Ah, getting cut hurts. It hurts real bad. Even winter this level can make me cry.
Maybe it is pointless.
Sorry, I lied. Please ignore that. Don't give up. Don't use that trump card. We can still do this. I'm completely fine. We've got this.
He waved his hands to show Natsatella he was fine, and then immediately performed a spinning kick towards Elsa. He had aimed to catch her off guard with an attack completely different from the pattern he established with the club.
Yep. Gotcha.
She easily avoided his kick, and then grabbed his leg before it could pass by. She raised her knife, aiming to chop off his entire leg. The force would easily tear through his leg in one stroke. Its speed and sharpness were more than enough. The shock from the blood loss and pain of having his thigh severed would kill him. He could see the words, "Bad End 4" appear before him.
No! Set a fire within yourself, Subaru!
He immediately tried to raise the club to block, but the weight was too much to lift in time while standing on one leg. Natsatella screamed in despair as the merciless slash reached his leg. The premonition of horrible pain and fresh blood caused him to quite literally scream up blood.
That's enough!
Piercing the roof, a blazing inferno descended into the loot house. The flame's dreadful aura swept through the room, and even halted Elsa's brutal act. Subaru stumbled backward when his leg was released and ended up falling on his butt. And before him, within the swirling dust and smoke, he saw a crimson glow.
It seems things were rather risky just now, but I'm glad I made it in time.
It's you.
The flame wavered as it stepped forward. In its path was Elsa, who had retreated quite some distance. She adjusted her grip on the knife as she faced the being before her, losing her composure for the first time. Before this overwhelming sense of intimidation, she no longer had the leeway to enjoy herself. Its dignified presence froze Subaru's, Natsatella's, and even Elsa's expressions. Even with all their eyes on it, its handsome features did not waver. The young man only had a single-minded sense of justice in the sky-blue eyes as his lips formed a slight smile.
Now, it's about time we finish this.
Brushing his crimson hair upward, the handsome youth loudly declared this.
And that was chapter 20.
I would just like
Dun
to say,
dun dun.
for your first time narrating like that, pal, that was absolutely amazing. You should be so proud of yourself.
It was great.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know how to say that. What? How do you say the
Kukri.
word? Or the,
Kukri.
Yeah,
Kukri, yeah.
Okay. I got so confused. I'm so sorry. Thank you so much. Also, I didn't read this beforehand or anything. So.
Oh, none of us did. That's
None of us do.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Prepare.
We always.
Excuse me.
Yes,
read the
I
entire
I
thing.
forgot what day it was because it's summer
Valid.
and it's weird. So I went to the grocery store and I just finished unloading everything. And I looked at my phone and saw the Discord alert. Went, nuggets!
Hey, the groceries are done. And Citrus
Yeah, they
did
are.
a great job helping out.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing. We love to see that.
Thank you.
Citrus, you did a really good job.
Yeah, for real.
Oh, look at this team.
I can see why you need to drink a lot of water while doing this.
Yo.
Oh yes. Oh yes, I'm currently knocking back more.
Tealdi, why don't you tell us about the Teresia chapter you recorded?
Oh. What would you like to know about it?
How much water you consumed?
A lot of water. And also, what's important is you need something that's like salty and slightly greasy, or else the water will dry your throat out. So I went through like 2 bags of chips as well.
Hell yeah! Oh man, I literally just downloaded it yesterday too. That's what it reminded me.
Yeah, near the I had to stop like halfway through, so there'll be a point where it's like starting to get a little scratchy, and then all of a sudden it'll sound better. So that'll probably be the cutoff where I switch days.
That's A-okay.
Well, we are happy to have you back, TLD.
Hell yeah, we are.
I have adulted enough for one day, so
Tell me about it.
Time to be
Gosh,
a
you-
fun
you-
kooky gal.
yes.
You always forget just how cringe Subaru is in the
Yeah.
in the first couple arcs.
I hope I'm being authentic.
Oh my god, it's so cringe.
You are.
You're doing great.
Both of them just didn't like it.
Oh, it's
Damn.
going to get worse. Believe
like-
you me.
This is what it was like when Wolf first got me. Ah, jeez, it's like reliving shit. I swear, no, he was not like that.
Everyone's like that at first. It's okay.
I just killed him. That's good.
I mean, if I remember
guess
the early streams and Kyle's, you were the one more like that than Wolf was.
Whoa! What the fuck?
Yeah.
You're fired!
Oh, battle flag has been triggered.
You're not fired. Please stay. You do good work. Fuck you, though.
Oh, I guess speaking of the Arc 5 stuff, how's the progress on everyone's favorite set of chapters?
We're gonna see how Wolf's throat is feeling today. We might record. Is it 64 we're on?
Yes.
Yeah, 64. We
Yes.
might record that today. 63 is completely done. I'm editing it tonight. Our new Priscilla, she's halfway through 64. She's finishing more. She's just a bit sick right now. We should have all of our lines in by next week, and I should have it completely edited, ready to go for the public by. I'm aiming for my birthday, which is the 21st of July. So that way we could just cruise that day. So I don't have to mod too much. But yeah, that's the plan. We're grinding along. I think almost all of our VAs have their audio in for the rest of Arc 5. There's like a handful of voice actors I have to DM today, but honestly, it will not take long. And if they can't make it for that chapter, I have several people lined up to do lines for them instead. So we're on track to finish for around, I'd say October latest, but I want to aim for us to be done Arc 5 by the end of September.
Woo.
Yeah.
Ambitious.
It's ambitious. It's ambitious, but now we have editors, and our new editors are so high. Our new editors and mods are so excited and really kicked my ass into gear yesterday. I could introduce all of our new mods. I just have to grab my laptop real quick.
And Planet, the reason why Liliana honestly gets hate is just because those chapters were too long, and I will agree on that. I like Liliana. I haven't read the light novel yet, the Liliana chapters, but I know that Liliana in the beginning part was more tolerable to me. She can get annoying at times, but I think that honestly one of the main reasons why I think the light novel is better, except of course for Yen Press being Yen Press, is because I think that especially in Arc 5 they shortened the stuff that needed to be shortened.
Mm-hmm.
True.
Also, the weird monsters are kind of cool.
Also true.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, the biggest change is that there are these monsters, like they're not quite like the monsters we see in Arc 2 and Arc 3 or Arc 2. But they're really weird, but I like them.
I really like the Liliana chapter so far. I think it's fun. It's been fun voicing her head thoughts.
It's been fun vocalizing the Liliana.
It has it?
No.
You sound dead.
That's like that polite. It's like,
character.
oh yeah, it's been so fun. It's great. Don't ask me any more about it though.
I'm not in pain. You're in pain.
I'm in Spain minus the S.
Spain without the S.
Yeah,
Yeah.
baby. All
In
right.
Spain.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Let me introduce our new mods. We have one who is joining very shortly, but they are in the chat right now, so I will introduce them as well. So currently our mods on Discord and YouTube are myself and Gold. Of course, it's just how it's been. Most of the cast have the role as well. We have Dunsparce, who's here in the chat with us. Green Warrior, Maddie, of course. Fanta's also along on our mod journey. We have Pow here. We have Krill, Itchy, Jace, Conda, Matter, Wraith, Sylvan, Stearman, and myself and Wolf as well. Yay! So that's our new mod team. We also have Lol Trash as well. Lol Trash will be joining us very soon. They are in training. And then we also introduce our editing staff. We have some carryovers from our mods as well. We have Green Warrior again. Fanta also helps oversee some things. Myself, Matter, Kamen, Proof Space, Sprite Anon, Andrew the Panda, Mike Crunk, Smol Ryan, Ryuga, and yeah, we have a couple others who haven't been added as well. But that's our new team. We have Citrus joining us on the VA team.
Hello.
Hello! I am also doing some outreach for the end of Arc 5 and parts of Arc 6 for some ReZero creators on YouTube and also some YouTubers who are in the anime sphere. We've heard back from a few, but not everyone, and hopefully one of our old guests that we've invited on will actually answer my DMs next time. So I will hit him up for a chapter. We're probably going to aim for any of our nice guest staff to come in for Arc 6 as... You know, we'll have a couple things done. We're in the works for planning an OP for Arc 6 as well. We have a singer, a lyricist. We also have some animators on board in our editing team. We have a whole storyboard mapped out. We're going to be working on that a bit more with Matter coming soon. So we're really excited for Arc 6, and yes, we are getting there. And hopefully by the end of Arc 6 or halfway through, we'll have internal auditions for Arc 7. And then once our internal auditions are done, we will also have some community auditions as well. That's what we got planned for the future. Thanks for letting me all, just talk your ears off for a hot minute. Hopefully that bought some time for the VAs to rest up. Yeah, I hope everyone's excited for that stuff coming. Also, to our team here, if you do want to join the team leads, which will be something else like a ReZero term, so it's less intensive. If you guys want to give me suggestions on where to go with the channel, what you'd like to see, just let me know, DM me. You can have access to that whenever you like. Anyone on
Yeah,
Reverie
if
can
you guys feel like wanting to boss
Whoa.
around, Kyle's McGiles.
Full jump scare.
Hello, I was here the entire time. I was going to interrupt you while you're talking and scare you even more, but then...
I would have shit myself. Okay, can continue, sorry.
But yeah, I'm glad that, we're doing a little bit of a reorganization. New people are joining, and as for the team lead thing, it's always nice to have more people talking and getting excited and throwing around more ideas for the channel's future. There's a lot of people here now, and it means that we can do a lot more in terms of what we do and where we do for the quality, or where we put forth the quality of our work. Things are going to heat up pretty soon in Reverie, and hopefully you guys see that quality, quantity, and both of them kind of skyrocket from here on out. For the moment, we're going to be trying to get to Arc 6, and then we're just going to have a lot of fun with these live reads for now. There's going to be editing for previous chapters that we've done with our new editors. Stuff like that's very fun and exciting. So thank you to all the new people here. Make sure to share with all of your friends because we're going to be kicking up again. We're going to have ways for you to support us in the near future. We're finalizing all of that. Kylie's working very hard.
Government name.
I'm so sorry. I called you. I'm going to say your last name and your social security number now.
No.
Date of birth, mother's maiden name.
Yeah. Your first pet.
Street you grew up on.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, literally all my debit card information, jeez.
Exactly. Last 4 digits on your credit card.
1, 2, 3, 4. It's not on my debit card. I was joking.
And that's going to be very fun and exciting, and we're hopefully going to have perks for when you support us. Memberships is a great way to do that. So if you do that now, I think that'll be great because we're going to have membership streams in the near future.
Yes, and you get the Liliana chapters first. Again,
And you also get every single chapter before they come out independently of the batches that we're going to be doing them in for watchability, and also just because I think it's better to do things in batch because there's probably 20 more chapters, and if we do them one at a time, not only will we be spamming your inboxes, but also it seems like we're making a lot of progress when we aren't. So that is the.
I swear,
and it's also
I worked
better
for 12 hours on
watchability.
Reverie yesterday. We're working.
I know. So yeah, that is the way that we're going to be doing it. I think we're going to be doing it in batches of chapters that are related to each other. There's sort of like mini arcs in Arc 5 of this person's POV, this person's POV. We're going to be doing that. If you've read Arc 5 before, you know what that is. If you don't, then it's going to be a new, exciting scenario for all of you.
Yay!
So yeah, thank you very much for everyone who's joining. I know we got a couple dozen people here, so that is nice, and I hope you guys are all having a wonderful day.
Thank you, Goal.
Wowzers.
I'm gonna post the next chapter in for everyone, and we're gonna get started up in a second.
All right, so this time we will have, I believe this is the chapter with one line from Rom.
Badass.
And we can do two narrators this time since the perspective shifts a couple pages in.
Ooh, that's fair.
So if anyone new wanted to give that a shot and didn't want to commit to the entire 14 pages, now is your chance to speak up.
Teal'c's back for Elsa. Citrus, do you want to do one half of the narration?
Sounds good to me.
Awesome. Anyone else volunteer for the second half?
Don't stumble over yourselves.
Well, I would, but I've got a person in it, so.
Yeah, me too.
Unless somebody wants to be narrator and not a character, because I can easily take over a character too. Up to you.
Mm-mm.
What chapter is this? Sorry.
We are on chapter 21.
21.
21.
Let's see. Teal'c or Vivi? Do either of you really want to narrate this chapter? Because I can do either of your characters easy.
No, I'll do Felt.
You'll do Felt.
I like doing Elsa. It's
Yeah,
fun.
I'll do
I
narration in a
also
second.
like doing
I
Felt.
just
All
get to-
right. Gold it is.
And I'll get the single line of Rom.
Yeah, let's go. Citrus, are you doing the first half or the second half?
I'll do first half because Gold said that were gonna do the second. I
Oh,
think.
easy.
I heard that.
Bet.
Yeah, give me a moment to pull it up though.
No worries.
Yeah. Just let me know when we're ready.
Yes. I'm gonna switch the music over. I also apologize for the amount of abuse I've been putting on the first 6 tracks of the Arc 1 soundtrack. Sorry if anyone's tired of it, but we're gonna keep using it.
How many tracks can they really fit in 3 episodes anyway?
Honestly.
The entirety of today's stream is the last 15 minutes of episode 3.
Oh, frick.
Oh my.
That's so true.
Oh, happy doggy. Welcome, Current, to the Hoshin Company. Let's go, a new member. And also thank you again, Belly, for gifting 5 memberships. We appreciate you so much. Yeah.
I can't wait to hear that song when Subaru jumps off the oh, wait. Never mind. We can't use
Oh,
that.
no.
We can do a cover. Which one is it again?
It's the Myth and Roid one, right?
Ah, yes. Hold up. I'll find you a cover.
And Myth and Roid is I'm really glad that Sukahiro does not seem to really care about people using the soundtracks.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to songs by other artists, yeah, we can't use them.
There's a lot of caring.
Yeah.
There's a lot of hearing.
There's a lot. I think I know a couple people who have done covers of it, so I'm gonna hit them up. I
Okay,
now know a lot of people on the singing side of YouTube. Let's go. They're so nice.
Yeah, yeah, Straight Bet is the name.
Straight bet. Just play Smash Mouth for the entire soundtrack.
And the director liked season 2 director liked it so much that they named the episode after the song for.
Oh right, that's
Oh,
right. Straight
right.
bet. It's a good song. It's a good fucking song.
For the arc for
The
was it episode? I want to say 11.
I believe it was the first episode of the second half of season 2.
So 13. 14.
Or was it 14? I think because first half was 13 episodes, and then second half was 12.
Or Green says 13. I don't know. One of those.
Yay! All right, everybody ready?
Is it?
Yep.
Yeah.
So I guess maybe Myth and Roy named it after the light novel instead, or it's just a happy coincidence.
We
They
love
were
a happy
nowhere close to the light novel at that point.
Fair. All right.
Well, good.
Citrus.
Get my love out there. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do.
Narrators, we see where the switch off is. Palzard, Connor put it in the staff chat.
Yep.
Beautiful.
Oh my god.
All right. Citrus, when you're ready, take us away.
Arc 1, Chapter 21. The Power of the Sword Saint. Felt's perspective. Her body rode the wind out of the battlefield, and she felt as if she was free from the despair the moment she passed the entrance. Behind her, in this world where one can't afford to look back, the battle still raged on. There was the dry sound of freezing air, the sound of steel shattering ice, the sound of a blunt weapon tearing through the air along, and the occasional sounds of "Hiya" and "Wah" as someone dodged while making strange noises. The battle wasn't over, even though Felt had run away, leaving it behind.
What the heck am I thinking? Isn't it lucky I was able to escape?
If she had stayed there, she would be dead. That was obvious. Felt didn't have the slightest to get payback on a woman who could bring Rom down with one blow. The same went for the silver-haired elf. She probably wouldn't be able to match Elsa now that she had lost her spirit's support. As for Subaru, it was completely obvious that he was useless. One could tell at a glance that he was just an ordinary fellow, and he hadn't the slightest hint of combat experience. His lovely fingers suggested he had never held a weapon, and his unmarred hair and skin probably meant he had never been injured. In other words, he had lived a sheltered life. His social status was such that he didn't need to think of combat.
If you think about it, it makes sense that someone like you would bring such an absurdly expensive thing like a meteor.
She should just think of it as him getting his just desserts, ignorant of the ways of the world and possessing just a little chivalrous spirit. He ended up trying to do more than he could. She should just laugh at his recklessness.
Right, and keep running. I can't stay in this town anymore. It's full of crazies like them. Before they find me, before it's too late to run away, I need to quickly...
Even within the slums, she had to choose a route known only to those who stayed here. Narrow and tiny, it was like a path for animals, but it was an ideal escape route. Considering her agility and small frame, she didn't think there was anyone who would be able to capture her here. The best thing she could do right now is prioritize her own life. After all, Subaru, who is probably dead now, had tried to act cool by letting her escape, so it was obvious if she ran away successfully, he could at least try to rest in peace. Her chosen route was obvious.
Someone? Isn't anyone there?
Even though her brain told her she could have chose the narrow escape path, her legs took her to the slum's main road that connected her to the city's main street. Her expression was one of panic and she was out of breath, even her line of sight was unsteady. Sighting a rundown shack, she ran up to the wall and stood atop it, then sent spittle flying as she screamed. It wasn't just anyone that she needed someone who had the power to face that murderer, Elsa. If anyone would do, she had already seen several figures as she ran here, but Felt was by no means someone well liked around here. Grandpa Rom was probably the only one around here who would have helped her while she was in this much trouble. If she just left Rom like this, he would die. Even Subaru, who had helped Felt escape, was probably fighting for his life right now. She felt strange. Without understanding why, she desperately rubbed her eyes that were on the verge of tears. Setting Rom aside for a moment, What was so bad about some guy she just met dying? He seemed to have had a good upbringing, spoke a lot of nonsense, and to call him inconsiderate was putting it lightly. Even so, when Elsa's word almost made her cry, he got angry for her. And even now, he was sacrificing himself so she could escape. She didn't understand what she was feeling, but something made Felt's heart urged her to keep running for help. She had felt something in response to his actions, something burning inside her. And so Felt continued to run, desperately wanting to scream in rage. And then, once she had run through many, many streets.
Please, help.
Understood. I shall help you.
She encountered a young man like a crimson inferno and changed her fate.
Reinhard?
That's right, Subaru. It's been a while. Sorry to be late.
The tall figure turned its head toward Subaru, who was still on the ground. Reinhard's faint smile seemed apologetic. Even though he had ripped through the roof and dropped about 5 meters, this didn't seem to have had any effect on him as he casually walked forward. His movements were refined, even as he cleared the dust. Subaru felt there was something different about him from when they had faced Ton Jinkan. He felt that he was getting a glimpse at Reinhard's true nature. Reinhard looked forward with his guard up, at the beautiful women in black clothes whose hostility was now directed at him. His blue eyes suddenly narrowed, as if remembering something.
Black hair and black clothes, and a curved blade, characteristic of the North. With those characteristics, there's no mistaking it. You're the Bowel Hunter, yes?
What's with that super disturbing nickname?
It was given to her due to her distinctive method of killing. She's a rather dangerous criminal, infamous even here in the capital. It's said that she's just a mercenary, though.
Reinhard sincerely responded to Subaru's mutter, and set his clear blue eyes on Elsa. His gaze caused her to stir.
Reinhard! Yes, the knight among knights! From the line of sword saints. Incredible! To think I'd encounter such interesting opponents. I suppose I'll have to thank my employer.
There's a number of things I'd like to ask you. I recommend you surrender.
You think a starving predator could resist a splendid steak dripping blood?
She seductively licked her lips with a red tongue and looked at Reinhard with an ecstatic expression. Receiving her gaze, he scratched his cheek as if troubled.
And suppose not. No choice. Subaru, step back a bit. Get the old man somewhere safe if you can. It'd be a great help if you could stay by that girl's side after that.
Understood. She's a monster of a woman, so don't let your guard down.
Fortunately, hunting monsters happens to be my specialty.
With these promising words, Reinhard advanced, completely calm. He did not even reach for the sword at his hip. He approached her barehanded. His composure made Subaru gulp, but what happened once the battle started shocked him even more. Exhaling sharply, Elsa brandished the knife in her hand, aiming for his neck. She was no longer holding back like she was against Subaru. The flash of silver slew the air itself as it rushed toward Reinhard's slender neck. Reinhard seemed completely defenseless against this. Forget drawing his sword to block, he did not even attempt to dodge. As the blade swung toward him, Subaru saw a vision of Reinhard's head being torn off. There would be a spray of blood, and Reinhard's head would fall ladder like in a manga. That was the scene he imagined, but...
I prefer not to be violent against a female opponent.
Reinhard said these gentlemanly words in a somewhat lower tone.
Forgive me.
With force that shattered the ground and created a shockwave, his kick sent Elsa flying. The shockwave even reached Subaru, who was rendered speechless by the wind. It looked like a normal front kick, and yet it held such power that the wind flew from the shockwave, shook the entire building. Having received a direct hit, Elsa's body flew like a leaf until she sprang off the wall to reduce the impact, and landed as if tumbling onto the ground. Ever, her expression was one of astonishment.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! Seriously? What's with that?
He had used the term off the charts many times until now, but right now, for the first time, Subaru believed that he had been using it all wrong. The term surely existed just to describe the men standing before him. Compared to him, running like the wind, swinging a club like a twig, transcendent battle sense, and magical power, boasting overwhelming quantity. All of those were completely overshadowed.
You're as good as the rumors say. No, you're even better.
I'm not sure I'll meet your expectations.
Will you not use the sword at your hip? I would love to experience its legendary sharpness.
Elsa recklessly pointed at Reinhardt's sword. She wanted to face him at his best, but Reinhardt shook his head in response.
The sword can only be drawn when it is necessary. The fact that it hasn't left its sheath means that this is not one of those times.
It seems I'm being looked down upon.
I find this judgment rather troubling as well. Therefore,
Reinhardt suddenly averted his gaze and looked around the loot house. He then found a worn-down, two-handed sword amongst some loot that had been placed against the wall, but were now strewn about the ground. He flipped up the handle with his foot and easily caught it as it spun, and then lightly swung it as if testing it.
I'll face you with this. Are you dissatisfied?
Not at all. Wonderful. Simply wonderful. Please, do entertain me.
As Reinhardt held the sword, Elsa took the initiative by spinning her body to the side. Immediately after, she threw several knives as she spun. There were 4 of them, thrown near simultaneously. She had clearly been holding back what she aimed for Felt earlier. These blades thrown at different heights weren't as fast as Natsutel's ice, but the difference in the trajectories would make it difficult to dodge. In other words, he had to deflect them.
Of course, I'll be taking advantage of that opening.
Elsa's body leaped like a wind-up toy. She flipped as if using the ceiling as footing, and then sprang back down and aiming for Reinhardt, a 2-stage attack. Even if he managed to deflect the knives, he would have to deal with Elsa's attack. With 4 attacks incoming, and another right behind them, Reinhardt responded by raising the sword.
Sorry, projectiles won't reach me.
Immediately after he whispered this, Super saw a sight that defied the laws of physics. The knives that were going to plunge straight into Reinhardt's body, their trajectories suddenly changed. They missed his body and hit the wall harmlessly. He hadn't used any special magic, nor had he swung his sword faster than the eye could follow. He had essentially faced her first attack completely defenseless. This was an unfathomable spectacle, an absurd sight.
The divine protection of arrow evasion?
I was granted it at birth, you see. Please don't think of it as unfair.
The knives completely failed to impede him, so their next challenge turned into direct confrontation. Elsa's slash had all the speed from her leap, and Reinhardt was prepared to take it by swinging his sword directly upward. Even though it was an exchange of an instant, Super could see everything in slow motion. Perhaps that was because Reinhardt's movements were perfectly refined. His every action seemed to possess divine skill that was almost magical. He was holding some crude sword he had found in a warehouse in the slums, but in his hands it shone like a legendary sword spoken of for generations. His sword plate truly seemed to push the sword to the limits of what it could do. Reinhardt's blade hit its mark, the base of Elsa's kukri knife. Even though it was a clash between steel, that absurd cutting power easily dispossessed Elsa of her blade. Flipping by placing her hand on the ground, Elsa was left speechless by the fate of the weapon she held. With the blade sliced off, all she had left was the handle, and asked for the blade.
Now that you've lost your weapons, I recommend you surrender.
Reinhardt held it in his hand as he turned around, lowering his sword. Reinhardt threw it with a flick of his wrist, and did not even look as if it pierced the wall with a sharp sound. Even Super could hear Elsa gulp.
This guy's seriously out of this world. Even I can't find the energy to crack jokes about this.
This impression leaked out of Super as if he's being squeezed. He then excitedly distanced himself from the battle. He approached Rome's fallen body, and somehow managed to drag him near the wall.
Old man Rom. Hey! Bodhi! Listen here! Are you still alive?
Who's bald?
You, obviously! As if it'd be anyone else. My only goals in life are to never go bald or to become fat. From my perspective, you're a great example of what not to do.
Though frail, at least he wanted to respond. Super struck his forehead and heaved a sigh of relief. Setting aside the severe damage to his head, the old man was probably alright. His memory might end up getting a little worse, but that would be a small price to pay to keep his life.
Is he alright?
As Super relaxed, Natsutella called out while running over to him. With her long silver hair flowing behind her, she analyzed Rom's injuries. She then whispered as a faint blue glow emanated from her hands.
I'll have to heal this.
Hey, this old man's one of the people responsible for your insignia's theft, you know?
That's why I'm doing this. Once I heal him up, he'll have to repay that favor by answering my questions. He definitely won't lie to someone who saved his life. This is just as much for my sake as his.
Perhaps she needed to make such long-winded excuses to justify her actions. Smiling wryly at her roundabout nature, Subaru redirected his gaze to the battle. Elsa was on her knees. He couldn't see her expression, but it seemed that Reinhardt had concluded that she had lost the will to fight. Lowering the hand holding his worn-out blade, he approached Elsa with his guard down. This was probably because he was confident in superiority, but conceit always led to the worst outcomes. Alarm bells went off within Subaru, and the moment before Elsa moved, as if leaping, he shouted,
She's got another one, Reinhardt!
The knife she drew from her waist sliced off a bit of Reinhardt's bangs as he leaned backwards. Now that her surprise attack had failed, she turned to Subaru.
That was rather sharp of you.
I've experienced it firsthand after all.
He flipped her off with pride that barely even counted as pride, but Elsa seemed to think he was talking nonsense and simply ignored him.
However, I have more than just 2 fangs. Shall we start over?
Will you be satisfied if I dispossess you of all of your weapons?
If I lose my fangs, I shall use my claws. If I lose my claws, I shall use my teeth. If I lose my teeth, I shall use my bones. And if I lose my bones, I shall use my life. That is what it means to lust for battle.
Well then, I'll have to shatter that declaration of yours.
Pulling out a third knife from her waist, Elsa took a 2-bladed stance as she once again rushed him. Blade met blade, the clash of steel caused sparks to fly. With the force against one blade, Elsa swung the blade in her other arm. The curved blade was aimed at Reiner's neck, but his long leg shot up into her arm, ensuring it wouldn't reach him. Elsa used the momentum to withdraw and leap off the wall up to the ceiling. She then kicked off the ceiling to reach another wall. In a manner befitting the Spider-Woman insult Subaru had lobbed at her, her movements around the room defied gravity and prevented Reinhardt from going on the defensive. She would freely attack from any direction and immediately withdraw, and Reinhardt was completely focused on intercepting her attacks, not moving a single step from where he stood. However, it didn't seem like there would ever be an end to this.
Don't tell me even Reinhardt can't finish her off.
Elsa's inhuman skill was now an entirely different level from where she was wielding a single blade. It was like a boss character reaching their second phase. She had ascended to a higher realm. On the other hand, Reinhardt possessed his powerful divine protection. Subaru didn't really understand much about the stuff though. And his supreme combat ability, he too had transcended the realm of humanity. It truly was a battle between gods, but even so, it did not seem like Subaru that Reinhardt was superior in terms of ability.
He's being considerate of us.
Nasatella whispered as she healed Rom, as if answering Subaru's doubts. She sent a sidelong glance at Subaru when he went, huh? And bit her lip restlessly.
I'm using the spirit arts right now, so we can't fight seriously. At the very least, until I finish healing this person.
What's the connection there?
If he were really truly intent on fighting, all the mana in this atmosphere would turn away from me. I'm almost done here. When I give the signal, call out to him.
Yeah!
Her explanation didn't quite hit the mark, but since she was relying on him, Subaru accepted despite his confusion. The blue glow continued to heal the blow to Rom's head, and a cut that had been bleeding slightly. His wounds and the traces of blood on him gradually disappeared, and Satella sighed deeply as Subaru looked out on it in admiration. After wiping off the scar tissue with some cloth, there was no longer any sign of the blow that had knocked him unconscious. As Subaru gasped at her magnificence, she tapped his shoulder.
If you would.
Leave it to me. Reinhardt! I don't really get it, but do your thing!
Subaru announced the completion of Rom's treatment to Reinhardt, who was still on the defensive. Reinhardt glanced at him for a moment. When his eyes met Subaru's, he gave a slight nod.
What are you going to show me?
The swordplay of the Astrea family.
Elsa asked this mid-leap, and Reinhardt's answer was short and stern. Immediately after, Subaru felt the space within the loot house warp.
And that was chapter 21.
Amazing
Hachi! Citrus, I am so sorry for interrupting you. You sounded amazing and did so good while I was DMing you that whole time. Amazing. Thank you for... You're a trooper. You did amazing through that. Everyone did so good. I was super immersed in that one myself.
Woo!
Yay, immersion.
Hey, Aldi, you're honestly a bit too good at Elsa. Is there anything you want to tell us?
It's actually kind of concerning.
Yeah.
I like that the same conversation comes up
Every
the
time.
Elsa showed up.
Every time it's like,
two
Elsa's like,
chapters in.
hey, Tealdi, do you have something you need to say? It's like, nope, same as last time.
One of these times, she one of the times during if we ever do like Arc 4 and stuff, Taylor would just be like, "Oh yeah, no, I just killed someone last week."
I just casually killed someone. No biggie. No biggie.
It's called method acting.
Someone was trespassing on my property, and I thought, you know what? Today's the day for violence.
Grabs the knives, slices them open. It's just practice.
That was the Amazon delivery driver.
I wouldn't do that. I worked for Amazon. I wouldn't take it on the
Well, that's
drivers.
true,
It's not
right.
their fault.
The
the
UPS
CEO.
people.
Take it on Jeff Bezos.
Okay, yeah, well, that's not the same.
No.
He's not
Now, for
standing there for
USPS.
12 plus hours a day.
Now, if it was USPS,
It depends on how badly they mangle the box.
Oof.
It's directly proportionate. It's like, the worse my package looks, the worse you're gonna look.
Hey, yo. Here's your package, ma'am. Nice and clean and fresh, all for you.
What's this dent on the side you were trying to hide from me?
Nothing at all. I'm gonna run.
Come back so I can give you a matching one in your skull.
I think
Nah, I
the-
wouldn't. They drop it in the box. They don't talk to me. It's fine.
Drop it off and leave. This lady's gonna hurt me if I do anything. Bye.
So no soliciting sticker on the door. That's probably serious.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. They never listen. They never listen to that stupid sticker.
Oh, they do now. Honestly, though. Except we had to explain to somebody during the election time that when they knocked on the door, it's like, oh, well, I'm not selling anything. It's like, no, soliciting means you're asking for something. It doesn't matter if you're selling. You're bugging. Please leave.
Leave now. Also, I completely forgot. Great job, Palazar, for taking over the big shoes that is Reinhardt. Pat would be super proud.
Thank you. Reinhardt is it's a fun person to play.
A good guy.
He's kind of scary, even more so here in the web novel, where it's just explicit. Like, yeah, they just turned and just made an L right in front of him, flew off into the other side, and came to, I think the last chapter said he jumped through the roof in a fireball.
Something like that, yeah. Just
from what I understand, it's like it's metaphorical. It's not like actually literal. It's just that his appearance is so catching. His hair is so red and brilliant. It looks like flames, like moving.
yeah. Well, I remember in was it Pride If, in order to stop Elsie, he has to blow up like half the slums.
Yeah, something like that.
At least he was contained inside one building this time.
Mm-hmm. Also, there's a bit of another note from me, the guy who like translates and transcribes a lot of these. Subaru's explanation on like why he's so upset when Amelia smiles at him is really, really hard to translate. Because Japanese has a word that means anticipation, expectation, hope, and not disappointment all at the same time.
Oh,
jeez.
It's not an easy term to go with, which is why the anime just did a series of flashbacks to all of her different faces instead.
But yeah, I get what you mean about Reinhardt being a bit more scary here. Like his little whisper about projectiles not reaching him. I don't think I've seen that from anywhere else before, so it's really interesting to see him actively use his stuff instead of just getting hinted towards it.
Yeah, I think the only other time that he really just explains what's going on with him is in season 2 of Isekai Quartet.
Really?
Yeah, they list off all of his divine, or like they just flash a bunch of kanji on screen with all of his divine.
Yes.
Honestly, it's probably just like a quarter of them.
All the ones listed on the screen were correct, but Subaru only says what a quarter of them are to Ainz and Tanya.
They also did that in Repetit, no? In the Chibi ReZero series?
I think they mentioned these that he's using here, but not all of them.
Oh, okay.
Like the divine protection of arrow evasion, the divine protection of the first attack always misses, the divine protection of the second attack also misses if the first one does, and a bunch more nonsensical ones like that.
Mm-hmm.
The ability to tell the difference, to automatically know whether it's salt or sugar.
Yep, exactly. Quiet and Matt. That one gets
I think they also said the divine protection of the Phoenix at some point explained in Repetit.
That is arc 5.
Yeah, I don't think it's in the show yet. Or if they do, they just give it the name but not tell you what it does yet.
Right, okay.
And I think like the funny part is I don't know if they explicitly say it in the light novel, but he can probably just ask for because divine protection of the Phoenix is like a one-time use, but I think that he can just ask for it again and he'll get it.
Yeah, that is how
Yeah, there's like a re-Phoenix.
I think Subaru speculates that's how it works after he sees it once, but I'm not positive. I've not gotten that far in the light novel for Arc 5 yet. I'm going to run to the restroom real quick if we can continue the break for just a couple more minutes.
Oh, absolutely. Stalling time.
I do like that Subaru gives like just as much care to describe Reinhardt as he does Amelia.
Oh, he thirsts.
He's so pretty.
He's so handsome.
He says handsome like 3 times, I think, that chapter.
Subaru is sweating.
Pat's coming to visit us.
Oh no, he's hot.
He's hot. Pat's coming to visit us in December, so I have plans for them to do random little voice acting things together. Make them work while they're here.
Yes, sir.
Like you can stay here for free, but in return,
you
will pay me with your voice.
Your blood, sweat, and tears, peasant. Let me see them.
Oh, Kyles. Do you want me to introduce myself since my Wi-Fi got cut off?
Please, Dunsparce, welcome yourself.
Okay. I'm a moderator here on Discord and on YouTube now. I look forward to this community a lot. I'm very excited to be here to listen to everybody. You all do an amazing job, and I'm just glad to be part of the team. So thank you for having me.
Of course, welcome.
We're happy to have you.
Thank you so much.
Wraith, welcome as well. If you want to introduce yourself too, I didn't see you there.
It's all right. Hello, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you guys are. I am Wraith, and I am now a moderator for Studio Reverie, and I am looking forward to helping out this wonderful community, and I'll help out to the best of my abilities.
Woohoo!
Welcome, Wraith.
Hey Wraith, do you want to take Pun Lord out of your name on Discord just for the time being? It looks very funny on the stream.
Sir, I'll change it for right now.
Thank you.
No, it looks great on stream. Leave it.
All right, I'll leave it.
It makes all our names look like a city skyline.
I like how my name is just like M.
I got T. ...
Yeah, exactly.
I got my whole name. Suck to suck, bitches.
You cheat and give yourself a double wide profile pic.
Am I
There's 2 of them.
What's stopping you guys? You can change your profile pic. Let me show you the app.
And then my name is like Whoa, Ulful Killer Or.
Wolf claw.
It's wolf claw, isn't it?
It's someone reacting to like a stock.
His name is
item.
Wu Ah. He does not go by his middle name
But
because
Wa-ah?
it's very difficult to pronounce.
What? A ball what?
Divine protection, a bottle of water, yeah?
It always
More
lands.
protection of hitting the pub, yeah?
Night out on the town with the boys, yeah?
It's the peeking that does it for me. The peeking sounds beautiful.
Thank you very much.
Why do you project with that and not Super Alliance?
I don't know.
That's okay, buddy.
One's more natural.
Because when I think about it too much, I get a bit self-conscious, yeah?
No, I'm sorry.
No.
It's okay. I forgive you, bruv.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, bro.
Just two bruvs hanging out in a house together.
Two bros.
And I buy my stiggy, mate.
Come on, Reinhard,
What will they
let's hit the town, mate. Come on.
You beat me to it, Kyles.
Yeah, let's go.
Subaru goes up to Rom. Can I buy my ciggy, mate?
Hey, we don't do no smoking round here, son. I got asthma. What are you on about?
He do got the asthma. Asthma.
The fuck you saying?
Who said asthma? Asthma. Asthma.
You think you're funny making fun of my voice, yeah?
Yep.
Yes, 100%.
Well, fuck all of you, innit?
Hey, I didn't do anything yet. I'm just here.
I just got here.
The two deaf people that is okay to make fun of are the British and the French. This is a known thing.
That's a universal law.
No, it's just the French, yeah? I promised we're better.
Be like me, I'm both. Just a walking, talking disaster.
No,
Aren't we all, though?
right. The people that we make the fun of the most, of course, are the Quebecois.
Deserve it.
And the chloroform.
They're like knockoff French, aren't they? It's even worse.
Okay, wait, don't say that. We're so close to the border, they're gonna kill us.
No, you got to live your life on the edge a bit. Come on.
We are on the edge. We're right next door.
We're on the edge of the
Wolf.
border. They're gonna
Wolf.
hear us.
I know that you're not a big fan of it,
We're
but
in a duplex and we share a wall.
can you do Chav Liliana?
Oh god.
Oh yeah, here we go. Kiritaka, we got you here. Respond. I am Liliana. In it, Bessie.
Liliana, what's happened to your voice?
Well, you see, shut the fuck up, yeah. Your voice has gotten better.
For real.
Maybe it's because of the amount
I
of chapters you've been
suddenly,
recording.
I suddenly had this craving for a thing called fish and chips.
Chips and fish.
What the fuck you just say?
Fishy chips.
We hear Kyle's getting strangled.
Fish sticks and French fries.
Fish fries. I'm gonna die. Anyway, so the chapter.
British people when they have to replace their micro crisps on their computer.
I'm gonna go get me some lemonade.
That killed me, dude. All right.
The youngest minion, number 4. She said when I asked her, it's like, "Hey, should we have fish and chips for dinner tonight?" She's like, "Fishy chips."
Oh,
That's so cute. Also, no.
No, youngest minion gets the pass.
She's 6.
Oh, that's so cute.
To be fair, there's nowhere outside of the Midwest I think that does really good fish fry. So I don't think I know of one in Arizona either.
Nah.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. Every single time I hear someone in North America talk about fish and chips, I just get really uncomfortable.
Oh.
Anya.
Because
If you ever, Wolf, if you ever find yourself in Wisconsin on a Friday, you'll probably find
Go to Wisconsin on Friday.
Oh,
me.
Like them cheap birds.
the British are coming.
British are coming. Sound the alarm.
That's the sound of the police.
He's got the divine protection, a water bottle. Run for your life.
Takes out the knife.
But unironically, if you guys ever visit the UK, fish and chips, please. If it's it's even better if it's like a small town on the coast that you were never going to remember the name of. The food hits
Just
different.
make sure that there are no seagulls around.
Oh yeah, that's just seagulls in general.
No, that's part,
Doesn't
that's
matter
part
where
of the
you
fun.
go.
It's like a
seagull
battle for survival.
dodging.
Yeah.
Gull dodging.
Oh my god, the amount of times, because I have lived on the coast like my entire life, the amount of times my poor little brother has had his food stolen right in front of me and I've not been able to do anything, and I'm just like, it's okay, buddy, we'll get you some more.
Yo, those seagulls are huge. I thought he was exaggerating. I went and saw them. They're like fucking huge rats. They're like the size of dogs. I don't know how they stay
Seagulls
up.
in the UK are what are essentially what the mythical drop bear is for Australia.
Oh
It's
yeah,
real.
Yeah, they are the epitome of flying rats. Sometimes they actually get drunk, which is really funny.
Oh yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, they fly into windows and stuff. Funny after the fact, but not when it happens.
Yeah. Especially if they crack the window, then you're like, motherfucker.
What the fuck?
Do you at least have the decency to be dead? And then they fly off. It's like, of course, asshole.
Off to eat my food another day.
Why do you guys have more aggressive seagulls at Lac than here from how I have here? The seagulls are just like, they're so chill here in my city.
I think it's because the majority of the UK is on the coast. So they have a lot more access to food. Just because of food waste and stuff, so they get a bit more greedy.
And they teach their children young the ways of
It's sort
robbing.
of like why pigeons in New York City are very aggressive. It's because they have more access to food.
Yeah, it is literally just that. I used to go to a school with like 1,000 students, and there'd be like 100 seagulls there at all times, waiting for food to be dropped, and they'd fight each other for it.
Ooh, nice.
It was like watching
Lunch and a show.
Yeah, it was like watching a wrestling match, but we didn't have to pay.
It's medieval times every lunch hour.
Wow.
Joust, my great stallions, into battle!
I have a grudge with seagulls.
Seagulls suck.
Don't we all?
No, I had a pet caterpillar that turned into like this giant moth.
Aw.
And then I decided, okay, I'm gonna let you go now. Be free, Herbert the moth. And then a seagull just swooped down instantly and ate him.
Red.
Oh
Red.
I
Oh my
cursed that.
God.
I
That's like the
cursed
one.
that every day. Every day I curse that one seagull every day now.
Just that one.
Just that one.
Your offspring.
The rest of you are fine. It's you I'm angry with.
I hope you never catch a fry in your life.
Rafe turns to the cameras like, I know you're watching.
I see you there.
Screw you,
The monitor is just like, I'm gonna get you again.
Screw you, that one seagull. The other guys, you're fine. You're cool.
Fine. All right, everyone
Or it's
ready?
like that. Oh, okay,
sorry.
yeah. No, it was a
Keep going.
pointless
Alright.
story.
No,
I'll just
tell
keep
me the
myself muted.
story. Tell me the story.
It's real quick.
Oh.
It's just relating to the moth story. It's like that video that has the sea life rehabilitators. They're letting the seal back out into the ocean. Immediately gets murked by an orca.
Oh my god!
Oh, oh God.
So yeah, it's
That's
like,
like in
come on,
real
Pete, we
life.
did all this work to rehabilitate. He's gonna go live with his family again. Orca's like, nope.
Nah, dinner, thanks.
Average ReZero moment.
Yeah.
Bless. Well, let's hope there's no goddamn seagulls in this one.
There's no
Yeah.
C. They've just
Elsa
said
was
to be like
secretly a seagull the whole time.
My arch nemesis!
All right. Oh,
Alright.
jeez. We got our narrator
Done
now.
first. You ready?
Yes, I just need the link for chapter 22.
Yes, let me send that way. Thank you. I forgot.
It should be in the Google Drive.
Yeah, proofread chapters.
You got it.
I'll still be here, but I might just be muted because I will be. I'm certainly in the middle of breakfast.
Ah, it's okay.
Wolf, have you or Kyle's gotten the chance to make sure that Dunsparce's audio is balanced?
Not yet. Let's test it out. All right,
Definitely should test it out.
You want to say just some random
Mhm.
string of words? Even sorry to put you on the spot.
Yeah, sure. So I don't know if you guys know, but oh my god, my favorite show in the world is ReZero. Who could have guessed? Oh my god. It's such a surprise that it's my favorite show of all time. I absolutely love Isekai. I try my best.
You did good. Your audio is perfect now.
It's it was maybe a little loud, but that's about it.
Okay, thank you.
You're down a click. We're good. Yay! All right, I'll get the music cued, and then when you're ready, Dunsparce, you can start us off.
Yep, I think Subaru starts the chapter now for 22.
We start with the chapter title.
The title.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, you're right. You're right. I'm sorry. Okay.
It's okay.
Okay. Arc 1, Chapter 22. Starting life in another world from zero.
Huh?
The atmosphere before him seemed to be warping, and he got the feeling that the room was somehow getting darker. Furthermore, the temperature that was already low from all the ice magic had now dropped even further, causing Subaru to clutch his shoulders as he shivered.
Hey!
Excuse me. Lend me your shoulder for a bit.
Subaru was in a panic as he supported the silver-haired girl who was now leaning on him. Her delicate body felt terribly hot, and Subaru felt his heart race for a different reason than it had been until now. But those feelings vanished in an instant when he saw her expression. Her breathing was rapid and shallow, and she seemed to be suffering, as though she had a high fever.
What's wrong? Did you suddenly feel unwell?
That's not it. My mana. You understand, right?
I don't understand at all.
He wanted to cross his arms and announce this, but this wasn't the time. The main factor sealing his lips was not the weight on his shoulder, but the change in the room's atmosphere, and who stood at the source of it. In the center of the room, Reinhardt held the two-handed sword in a low stance. No, he had been holding it since the battle started, but even so, Subaru felt that it was appropriate to say that he was now holding it for the first time. Right, the sword Saint Reinhardt had now readied his sword.
The Bowel Hunter, Elsa Reinhardt.
And the line of sword saints, Reinhard von Astrea.
His sword's overwhelming aura enveloped the room, and their fighting spirit made the atmosphere tremble. Elsa introduced herself with a lick of her lips, and Aunt Reinhardt responded with a dignified nod. In this place that had almost been turned into a ruin, the assassin dressed in black and the lightly dressed hero faced each other. The metal that would clash was on side a knife drenched in blood, and on the other, a rusty old two-handed sword. Even so, Subaru gulped. Having introduced themselves to one another, the two would now face each other one-on-one. The brilliance of this scene was such that it truly appeared like a verse straight out of some epic. There was a breathless scream. Was it Elsa, Reinhard, or Subaru himself as one would expect? It was unclear, but the result was clear to all three of them. A brilliant light tore through the lighthouse that had lost its roof, and split space itself into two. It looked as if the world itself was misaligned. That extreme light dyed the room white in an instant, but the world suddenly changed when the light faded. The misaligned space started to return to normal, and the aftershock of this power so great it even warped the atmosphere was now rampaging through the room as wind. The surging wind enveloped the loot, the furniture, and the scrap wood and violently tossed them about, and Subaru desperately held on to Natsutella and Rom to protect him from this disastrous collateral damage.
What the hell?
He didn't understand the blast wave, but he did know what caused it. With all his might, Reinhardt had swung his sword but a single time. That was all, and it led to this. Raising his voice, he endured the wind and the pain. Finally, the storm faded, and the sounds of the loot and wood that were being flung about falling to the ground, in addition to the dull sound of the building creaking, announced that it was over. Tossing aside a hanging scroll-like bit of wreckage that had fallen on his head, Subaru confirmed that the safety of the two had given his all to protect. It seemed Subaru's cover wasn't quite enough, as it looked like Rom had some milk or something splashed on him. But he'd cut himself some slack for that much.
What do you mean hunting monsters is your specialty? You're quite the monster yourself!
Even I get hurt by words like those, Subaru.
The source of this destruction, Reinhard, turned around and said this with a faint smile. His seemingly blazing red hair had been ruffled by the storm, and even his nonchalant face had some sweat on it. As for the two-handed sword he was holding,
I pushed you too far. Rest easy.
It crumbled in his hand. Its poor craftsmanship could not withstand Reinhardt's attack. An attack so powerful as to destroy a steel blade, and Elsa took it head on.
There isn't even a piece of meat left. Maybe it's actually a good thing that she completely disappeared like that.
In the aftermath of the slash that seemed to split the world itself, there truly was nothing left. The destruction had blown away the counter near the entrance along with the seats, and the shockwave even reached the clearing in front of the building. The violent winds caused much of the building to crumble, and even now it looked like the whole thing could collapse. Naturally, the spot where Elsa had been standing was also within range of his slash. Her tall figure dressed in black was nowhere to be seen. Subaru couldn't even begin to comment on Reinhardt's overwhelming power.
But with this...
Stretching his body that was stiff with tension, Subaru heaved a big sigh. And as if to confirm the reality that he couldn't accept, he thought of the person next to him. The silver-haired girl leaning on his shoulder. Though her breaths were still shallow, her amethyst eyes met Subaru's gaze when she noticed he was looking at her.
Is it over?
Yeah. Just barely in the true sense of the term.
Answering the question she weakly asked, Subaru supported her as she stood up. In doing so, Rom's head that was in her lap ended up falling into the ground, but Subaru didn't really care. Having stood up, she fixed her hair and separated from Subaru, though her legs didn't seem very steady just yet. Now that Natsatella had left his side, Subaru stared closely at her.
Why are you staring at me like that? I think that's really rude.
You've still got your head, and of course your limbs too.
Isn't that obvious? Could you not say such scary things?
She probably didn't understand what he was feeling. As she glowered at him with a reproachful eye, he raised his thumb and flashed his teeth.
Yeah, you're right. It's obvious. I've got my limbs too, of course. And there's no knife sticking out my back, nor is there a massive hole in my stomach.
You speak as though you actually experienced such things.
He did. Those were some seriously troublesome times. Because of his uselessness, Natsatella had lost her life. Rom had lost both his arm and his neck, and Felt had been sliced open. It was truly cruel.
Speaking of which, Reinhard, I haven't thanked you yet. You seriously saved me. There was that time in the alley too. You must be able to hear my heart cry out, friend.
I would be rather proud if I could do that, friend.
Reinhard shrugged his shoulders with a somewhat pained expression, and indicated a certain direction with his jaw. Following his gesture, Subaru looked in that direction.
Oh.
The sight of the person standing there caused Subaru to feel his mouth unexpectedly change into a smile. At the now destroyed entrance to the loot house, in the shadow of a barely standing pillar, was a girl with a snaggletooth and striking blonde hair looking their way timidly.
She was running around the alleys desperately. She then asked for my help. It was thanks to her I was able to come here. After that, I just did my duty as a knight.
A knight's duty, huh? Does that include leveling old buildings, perhaps?
Do you not think you're being rather harsh, Subaru?
Reinhard touched his chest as if that struck a nerve. Now that he'd created such a disastrous scene, his unchanging friendliness seemed a little frightening. In other words, the Chad among Chads.
That girl is...
Not Satella, with her unsteady footing, also noticed Felt's presence. Subaru stepped between them as if to keep Felt out of her sight.
Time out! Time out! We'd most likely be dead if she hadn't called Reinhard, you know. Please spare my face and skip the ice sculpture punishment.
I wouldn't be that violent. Also, spare your face?
Not Satella rubbed her brow in exasperation. Even that gesture of hers somehow brought Subaru joy. They were both alive and on somewhat good terms, because of which they could mess around like this. It felt pretty misleading, but this was basically the development Subaru was hoping for.
The rest depends on my diplomacy, huh? That's completely unreliable!
What's the matter with you all of a sudden? You're all flustered and it's really disgraceful.
Her words cut deep. Subaru placed his hand against his chest just like Reinhard did. But he only ended up looking funny and didn't have the slightest bit of Reinhard's coolness. Watching their exchange, Reinhard smiled without a hint of malice. Then, he raised a hand toward Felt, who was watching them silently, and started walking over to her. Watching his gallant figure from behind didn't even inspire envy. Subaru simply dropped his shoulders. So this was the difference between those who had it all and those who had nothing. Though cautious, Felt seemed to be grateful for his help. She did not try to run away when Reinhard approached her. Subaru found the sight somewhat charming as he watched them.
Subaru!
When Reinhard suddenly turned to him and shouted, causing him to realize they weren't out of the woods just yet. Some wooden wreckage burst open and a black shadow emerged from underneath. The shadow's black hair danced behind it as it firmly pushed against the ground to accelerate, dripping blood all the while, tightly grasping a crushed kukri knife. Elsa wordlessly dashed toward them covered in blood.
You!
The murderer had kept her life by somehow evading the incredible slash, and her eyes now filled with absolute darkness. The killing intent she was now releasing was the greatest thus far, and it was like ice down Subaru's back. She would reach them in mere seconds. In that time, Subaru's thoughts raced rapidly.
A crushed knife, an instantaneous exchange. She's probably betting it all in one shot. Reinhard won't make it in time. If I somehow survive just one attack, Reinhard can take it from there. Not Satella doesn't even have time to turn around. Who's the target? This third time, I'll protect her. Protect, 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 protect! She's aiming for the gut! She's aiming for the gut! She's aiming for the gut!
He pushed Natsatella out of the way and immediately raised the club he was holding to guard his abdomen. Impact. The force behind the horizontal slosh was such that it felt like a heavy, blunt force attack than cutting one. The blow to his gut swept him off his feet and he felt the world turn upside down as he coughed up blood. His field of view kept spinning. In truth, it was his body that was spinning, having been blown away. He had no clue how far he had been sent flying and ended up crashing into the wall completely defenseless.
This kid again!
Elsa clicked her tongue in frustration as she looked at Subaru, whom she had sent flying. She then turned to Natsatella, who was standing stock still.
That's enough, Elsa.
Reinhard had returned, and she realized it would be meaningless to continue fighting. She threw the kukri knife in her hand at Reinhard, though it was completely bent from her final attack against Subaru. Regardless, it failed to reach him due to his divine protection of arrow evasion.
Someday, I shall slice open the bellies of everyone in this room. So until then, do take good care of your bowels.
It had managed to bind Elsa enough time to leap away atop the wreckage. It would take too much effort to pursue her now, that she was nimbly leaping away from rooftop to rooftop, with no desire to fight anybody. Reinhard intentionally stayed behind, choosing not to chase after her. Once he saw her fade into the distance, he ran over to the silver-haired girl.
Are you unhurt?
That doesn't really matter, does it? More importantly...
Worry flashed across Reinhardt's handsome face, but she brushed him off and forced her unsteady legs to move toward the wall. Toward Subaru, who had collapsed upside down.
Hey, are you alright? That was far too reckless.
Yeah, that was nothing. That was exactly the time to act reckless, you know? I was the only one who could move, and I knew right away where she would strike.
Subaru raised his hand at Natsutela's worried face, drew closer, and then gently rubbed his abdomen where he had been hit. He was terribly bruised. When he rolled his jersey up, he saw that everything underneath had turned purple.
Ugh.
He stuck his tongue out at this disgusting sight. He then rolled over and used the momentum to stand up.
She's really gone this time, right?
My apologies, Subaru. This happened because of my negligence. If you weren't there, the outcome would have been much worse. If anything were to happen to her,
Stop! Don't say another word! I've been acting pretty noble thus far. If I leave even that part to someone else, I won't be rewarded!
Subaru stopped Reinhardt's apology and smiled at him when he fell silent. He then slowly turned to the silver-haired girl looking up at him and met her gaze. She stirred slightly, and then stood up. They were about 2 steps apart. He could touch her if he reached out. It was a long, hard road to get here. Thinking back on it caused powerful emotions to well up within him. When Subaru suddenly closed his eyes and fell silent, she looked like she wanted to say something. But before she could open her mouth, Subaru thrust his finger up. With his left hand on his hip and his right hand reaching into the sky, he completely ignored the surprised gazes of those around him and loudly raised his voice.
My name is Natsuki Subaru! I know there's tons of things you want to say, and tons of things you want to ask, but set that aside for now, and hear me out!
What?
Just now, I saved your life by protecting you from that evil blade. Are we okay on that?
Okay?
Meaning, is that clear? So, are we okay on that?
Subaru twisted his body into the shapes of O and K, and in response, the silver-haired girl responded as she twitched.
Oh, okay.
Subaru nodded enthusiastically and continued as if pressing her for an answer.
The one who rescued you, the savior of your life, was me, and the heroine who I'm saved was you. So naturally, I ought to receive a fitting reward, right? Right?
I understand. Only if it's something I can do, though.
Alright then, I have but one wish. Just a single one.
Subaru raised a single finger and thrust it before her, emphasizing his words further. He then wriggled his fingers, which made her somewhat anxious, after which he cleared his throat and shot her a lecherous smile as she nodded with a grim expression.
Right, my request.
Yeah?
Flashing his teeth and snapping his fingers, he raised his thumb and donned a posed look.
I want you to tell me your name.
Her eyes widened. Her expression was one of astonishment. The room fell silent for a while, and Subaru started to tremble slightly as he maintained his posed look. The feeling he disregarded earlier came back in the form of extreme embarrassment, but he couldn't lose his nerve before even seeing their reactions. That was the worst cliche in this sort of situation. So he remained silent and waited for the girl's response. He was ready for anything, be it lumps of ice, icicles, or even a freezing beam. He'd rather not deal with the freezing beam. As Subaru's thoughts rapidly turned to extreme situations, they were drowned out by the faint sound of someone giggling. With her hand against her lips and her white cheeks flustered, the girl smiled as her silver hair swayed behind her. It was not a smile of resignation, nor was it a faint, fleeting smile, and it certainly wasn't a grim smile prepared for the worst. She simply smiled because she was happy. That was all it was.
Amelia.
In response to the words she said followed her laugh, Subaru could not only let out a small gasp seeing this reaction. She straightened her posture and smiled impishly with a finger to her lip.
My name is Amelia. Just Amelia. Thank you, Subaru.
She offered her hand.
For saving me.
Subaru looked down at her fair hand and timidly touched it. Her fingers were slender. Her palm was small. Her hand was delicate and terribly warm. A woman's hand with blood flowing through it.
Thank you for saving me.
She wasn't the only one who wanted to say these words. That went for Subaru as well. She was the one who saved him first. All this meant was that he was finally able to repay her. He had been slaughtered thrice before he finally reached this point. After all that pain, all that sorrow, all those horrible memories, after he fought to the bitter end with his life on the line, his reward was her name and a smile.
Oh, seriously? Man, that's not nearly enough.
Saying this, Subaru smiled as well as he firmly returned the girl Amelia's grip. That would have been a good spot to end things, but...
At any rate, I'm glad you're alright, Subaru.
He was probably waiting for Subaru to finish his conversation with Amelia. Having been forcibly silenced, Reinhard now spoke a few words of surprise at Subaru's safety. Perhaps that meant that even to someone like him, Elsa's final attack must have looked devastating. Subaru lightly pressed his sore abdomen and then pointed to the club on the floor. The spiked club served as an excellent shield, just as its thick and sturdy appearance suggested. That may not have been what it was intended for, but even so.
It's because I was able to use that to block right away. If it weren't for that, my torso would be split in two right now.
Right. If it weren't for this...
He wouldn't have been able to avoid bad end 4. Subaru smiled casually and Reinhardt smiled along with him as he innocently picked the club up.
Huh?
In his hand, part of the club slid off due to the smooth cut going through it, producing a dull sound as it hit the ground. Now that it was split in two, its days of service were over. Reinhardt slowly looked in Subaru's direction with pained eyes. Following his gaze, Subaru felt an unpleasant premonition as he rolled his jersey up. His torso was completely purple from the bruising just like before, but there was a difference. There was a red line going across it.
Oh, this is bad. Even I can tell what happens next.
The sharp pain arrived first. The next instant, Subaru's abdomen split along the middle, causing copious amounts of blood to gush out.
Hey, Subaru!
Subaru could hear Amelia's panicked voice from right beside him.
Oh, I finally heard her real name, and now it looks like this could be the end. But, even so, I'll probably come back here again.
His field of view tilted. Perhaps his body had collapsed. Reinhardt looked panicked as well, and Amelia's well-featured face drew closer as she looked at him with an expression of sorrow.
Ah, so cute. Even when she's panicking. A true parallel world fantasy.
With that final impression, similar to a certain other time, the sharp pain and shock swept his consciousness away like surging waves.
Well done, everyone!
Woo! And that
Dun,
was
dun,
the end
dun.
of chapter 22.
And that is why you stretch before you make your body into weird shapes.
Stretch
Okay.
and stretch.
Or else all your inside bits are going to become outside bits.
Okay. Yay, Pachi Pachi. Well, we're almost done Arc 1, friends. How are we feeling?
No more Elsa.
Fuck Elsa! With love.
Fair
I
enough.
love your Elsa. I love your Elsa. Character not. Don't
Wolf.
worry, she comes back.
Wolf, I just want to say I'm sorry. In one of your lines, I thought you were done, so I started preemptively.
Oh, don't you worry. Trust me, I've done it before too. I get it. Don't
You
you
did an
worry.
amazing
We
job
all
for your
have.
It's
first
okay.
time. Oh,
Thank you.
Everyone has done that at some point.
I will also say, just to make sure you're not too self-critical, when you're reading live, it is very different to when you're pre-recording. Like, you are gonna make mistakes, and that is just an accepted thing. That's okay.
Your girl joined halfway through a chapter because I was listening to the live stream. We had delay on, and I joined in and interrupted the whole chapter. I'm pretty sure it's like chapter 15 or something. It's cringe as hell, and it's forever up there. So don't worry.
It's on the internet now. It never goes away.
I don't ever look at that chapter. I have never looked at it again. I just throw it up and say, fuck it.
It's like, whatever, it's there, bye.
Bye!
It's there. We don't talk about that one.
You don't talk about Bruno. No.
No.
Can you believe that this is how Tappei marked the end of the entire first arc of his story? It was just Subaru dying again.
It's like, hey, look, he's been disemboweled. Well, let's not worry about that now. Bye.
I think one thing I really appreciate about Tappei is that he is unabashedly and unashamedly a huge troll.
Oh yeah.
He loves to be just an absolute arsehole, and he embodies it so well. I remember, I always think back to this one chapter in Arc 6, which is like the most brutal chapter in the entire series up until that point, and he puts the violence warnings at the end of the chapter just because.
Well, that's rude.
Subaru fucked around and he found out.
He found the fuck out.
Yeah, I just
out
call
a lot.
So when he trolls like that, I just call him Troll Pay. So
Oh my god, hey Stearman, how's it going?
no, not much. Just finished some grocery shopping. Nothing to it.
Well, while
Got
you're
it.
here, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hello, I'm Stearman 100, the greatest person you'll ever meet. That I started drama on accident, so. But
welcome. Stearman is one of our new mods and is super involved with the ReZero community. If you've been on Twitter and seen the Arc 5 poster I retweeted yesterday, that's Stearman's commission.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's good to finally have a voice to your name, Stearman.
Welcome, Stearman!
Oh yes, indeed.
Well, friends, are we ready for this interlude before we start talking about the end of Arc 1 and getting ready for Arc 2?
Wait, hold on.
Arc 1?
Holding
I have
on.
something. Give me a second.
Take your time.
I had to edit an image because it was a little bit NSFW.
Appreciate it.
But this is essentially Amelia at the end. Hold on 1 second.
Where are you posting this? Staff Gen.
Well,
Damn.
you finally get a break for this next part.
Final chapter, let's go!
Like the one chapter out of the
Let me.
Do you know what? Honestly, these little baby things are nothing compared to the chapters in Arc 5. I have been trained.
Sorry for the cracks. True you have.
I think this is the only break up until the Rem chapter.
Remu! I'm gonna fight all of you for Rem, by the way. Take Amelia. I don't need her.
I won't fight it. It's okay. I don't have the voice for it.
I'll be Rem.
No. Hell, you can be Amelia.
Wait, who are you talking
Passing it
about?
on.
Ain't no fucking
No, I don't have the proper voice for Amelia.
Nah. She's easy to do.
Not at the bars into this, but I could take Felix.
Oh, Gold might fight you on that.
I was gonna say, we
We'll
have
fight you
Felix
on that.
voice actor. What the hell?
Gold comes out like, hey.
Whoa!
Felix? Okay, look, Felix was the reason. Felix was the reason why I started hearing of ReZero.
Oh, gosh.
Is it because of that one clip from the con of someone asking like, "Hey, I love your cosplay"? It's like, "Thanks, my name's Felix."
Okay, but they're really cool. I follow them on Twitter.
They are
Okay,
so
no.
cool.
No, it's because it was a friend. I was hanging out with a friend, and I was like, "Okay, let's hang out in a Discord call with some other people." Then they were like, "Hey, have you heard that your friend there loves Felix?" And then they kept trying to deny that. I got so confused, and I started watching Felix clips, and now I'm trying to get into ReZero now.
You should. We stand Felix here. We love Felix. We have so many different levels of watchers of ReZero or web novel readers or involvement in ReZero. We have a mod that's coming in who only just found us recently. We have mods who've been here since early holographic days when he did it all himself. It's wild. It's so nice to have this mix again. Let's go.
It's hard being the one that's seen and read everything and knowing that every word you say is a possible spoiler for everybody else.
I feel you on that.
And then I'm on the complete opposite end of it, where it's like, I read the chapters as we go. I haven't read any of them. I haven't watched the anime. I'm just kind of here.
Geraldine's experiencing it live.
Yes.
To be fair,
What?
it's a pretty
End the
interesting way to experience it.
It is.
It's pretty fun, honestly.
Yeah, you must be having a blast.
It is. It's fun to hear it in real time and, read it with everybody. But yeah, I've seen up to, in the anime, I've seen to where we just stopped, pretty much.
Oh,
That's
okay.
all I've seen of the anime.
She's seen 4 episodes.
Wait, to be fair, those are the episodes that I always speed through on my rewatch.
Yeah, the next parts are really good.
Yes.
And then I looked up some bits with Crucia's voice actress just so I could make sure the tone was right.
Mm-hmm.
But then it's weird and she sounds exactly like me and I'm a bit disturbed by that, so it doesn't matter.
We did our casting well.
Literally identical. I remember when they casted you, I think I was in a call with Wolf and Hollow, and they heard your audition, they're like, whoa.
I will admit, me and Hollow did nerd out quite a lot when we heard all your guys' auditions.
My goodness.
Because I didn't look up her voice before I did the audition. I just read it.
I remember listening to yours while I was waiting to hear back, and I was like, holy shit, everyone's so good. What am I going to do? They're not going to pick me. I'm so bad. I was so drunk. Oh, no.
When I first met you in the call tailed, I thought these guys were pulling like a DJ Sexadillionaire thing with Chris Sabat, where it's just a screen name and you actually were the same person.
Oh, yeah.
For probably like a week and a half.
No. It is not. As I've said several times, she's blonde and I'm not, so.
That's true, you have colorful hair now.
I do.
Hey,
Except I need to, the blue all faded out. I need to redo the blue.
Oh, no.
Well, the thing
Who you
is,
telling, girly? Who you telling?
my mother-in-law, she's the one that did my hair. And she did it because she had a whole bunch of the colors and no one was really asking for them anymore. So she basically was like, hey, can I have fun with your hair? And I said, yeah, just do whatever you want. So she gave me the rainbow stuff. And then she gave me all of the other colors because she's like, they're going to go bad. No one else is using them. So I have all the colors to redo it. I just need to go downstairs and like touch up the blue.
Oh, that's sick.
Because everything else has stayed delightfully. Like, none of it's faded at all, except the blue in front. It's just like, nah, you know what? I got other places to be.
It's always the blue. It's always the blue.
It
Blue
is.
fades so fast.
And the pink, on the other hand, is just like, nope, I took over some of the red. I just live here now.
That's why I had pink in my hair for so long, because it lasted the damn longest.
It does. It just doesn't go.
Never goes. I want it back now. You've inspired me. Okay, I'm going to have that next week. Thank you, Tail.
You're welcome.
Well, do we have any volunteers to narrate the interlude?
I can narrate it. Where's it at? Hold on, I'll narrate the interlude. Where are we at?
It's in the same Google Drive.
Okay, let me hop back over to. I closed it out like the scrub I am. Hold on.
Could I narrate?
Oh.
Oh. Okay.
Oh no, you can if you want.
No, it's okay. If you really want to, because you
free
usually don't get a
chapter.
chance.
The only free chapter you have and you want to narrate?
To be fair, you guys make a good point. I'm working myself too hard.
Okay.
What? We can always split it in half. How about
No.
How long is it? Let me see. I've done longer in one go. How long is it? 11.
100 words.
Oh yeah, this is nothing, Tayo.
This is nothing.
Nothing.
Well, you know what? If Wolf takes a break, we can record Liliana today. How about that?
Yeah, deal.
Deal. All right, Tail,
There we
there's your
go.
chapter.
Got it.
Fuck yeah, I got quota done today.
I was gonna do it anyway, you little shit.
Let's just imagine that Elsa's
Celebrate the
still
small
on the
things.
roof.
Elsa's just there watching, like a faint blue light. No, I will not do that. I will not Elsa narrate. I will properly narrate.
Hey, ain't nothing wrong with that, though.
And our
It gets tiring after a while, honestly.
Yeah.
our mods and new VAs. Anyone grabbing felt this time?
I'm felt.
I can save for next time, maybe.
Yeah, Vivi's back now. Vivi's back.
Yeah.
Oh, Vivi is back. Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you for your praise, Vivi. It genuinely makes me really happy.
Yeah.
All right, then. We ready?
I think we are. Let Kyle fix the music real quick.
Get good, scrub.
Fuck you.
Waiting.
Let's see. This one I want. Nope, that doesn't fit. Nope. All right, let's go.
All right. Arc 1, Interlude 1. The moon is watching. A faint blue light. As he watched the water-like waves administer healing from a distance, Reinhard heaved a sigh so faint no one noticed it. His handsome profile was rather despondent, and his clothing was slightly battle-worn. His figure standing before the wreckage was such that an image of it would be a masterpiece in itself. However, despite his objective brilliance, from his subjective viewpoint, his inadequacy brought him such cringe that no amount of words could describe it. Even now, Amelia was putting her all into healing Subaru. The wound he had received was due to the opening created by Reinhardt's conceit. He had let Subaru sustain an injury that shouldn't have reached him, and placed an unnecessary burden on Amelia. Furthermore, due to his innate characteristics, he would only hinder Amelia if he was by her side. Watching from afar like this was the best he could do. Realizing that some part of him was calmly acting on this judgment increased his guilt even further.
All right, that should be enough.
As Reinhard condemned himself with his eyes closed, a voice like a silver bell reached his ears. Amelia lightly brushed away his bangs as if wiping his forehead, and confirmed that his face was tinged red. She then stood up with a nod and turned around.
I finished his treatment. Looks like we're past the worst of it.
That's splendid news. Now, Lady Amelia.
Reinhard briskly walked over to Amelia, who seemed satisfied, and dropped to his knee and lowered his head. Not a single one of his movements were lacking. His etiquette was flawless.
Due to my inadequacy, I have caused you a great deal of anxiety. I shall accept any punishment for this failure.
He placed his sword before his knee as he apologized for his failings. To a knight, this was the highest form of apology. Reinhard was prepared to accept any order or punishment she may give him. However, in response to his apology, Amelia...
You know, I don't really understand why you people are like that.
Huh?
You came to save us from danger, and somehow settle things without anyone dying. Despite this, you're now trying to take responsibility for all the pain and suffering that occurred in the process.
Waved her finger and pouted, a little displeased. She then suddenly turned her finger towards Subaru, who was sound asleep.
That kid's a lot more straightforward. He saved my life, and thus demanded a reward. Although he really didn't ask for very much.
Reinhard, too, had seen Subaru try to act cool as he asked for her name. As Amelia smiled thinking back on it, Reinhard's lips ended up forming a smile as well.
So...
Amelia suddenly narrowed her amethyst eyes at Reinhard.
Thank you for helping us. That's all I have to say to you. As far as I'm concerned, you haven't done anything wrong, so there shall be no punishment. If you can't accept that, then do your best from next time onward.
Understood. I am thankful for your kind words.
After lowering his head even further to show his respect, Reinhard stood up. Now that the two were facing each other, Reinhard ended up looking down at her since he was much taller. Even so, what was that majesty he had just felt from her? It was probably the difference in their caliber, Reinhard guessed, aware of his narrow-mindedness. On the other hand, this only reaffirmed the fact that Amelia, too, was one of the chosen.
By the way, you're dressed rather lightly today.
Amelia murmured as if she had just realized this as she watched his silent form. Her eyes were on his clothes. Since he was off duty today, he wore dark clothes suited to a stroll around the capital. He understood that the fact that he didn't look very much like a knight must have been strange to her.
Today is one of my rare days off, so I wasn't wearing any imperial uniform. My armor is presently in the castle, so for today my sword is the only knightly object I have on me.
He placed his sword back at his hip, its conspicuous claw marks catching Amelia's eye. She then blinked, seeming somewhat surprised.
How come you got wrapped up in this on your day off?
That's a little complicated, but it was thanks to Subaru over there.
It was his encounter with the boy who was presently unconscious that led him here. If he were to explain things in order, he would have to start with the alley where he first met Subaru and spoke with him. Back then, Subaru had revealed to Reinhard that he was looking for a silver-haired girl in a white robe. Reinhard knew of only one person who fit that description, and Subaru had wished to meet her. While in the process of investigating him, Reinhard ended up coming to the slums.
I met her along the way and then arrived here.
Right. That girl.
Now that she had been brought up, Amelia's eyes turned to a corner of the clearing, to the girl who was still tending to the still unconscious old man. Feeling her gaze, the blonde girl turned around and then lowered her eyes awkwardly.
Lady Amelia, she...
Reinhard, you've been a great help. I'm grateful that you saved us. But I have one more request. Don't interfere any further.
In response to her firm words, Reinhard gave up on saying anything further. Taking his silence as a yes, Amelia walked toward the blonde girl. The girl also turned to face her, as if prepared for the worst.
Is that old man your family?
Amelia leaned over to meet the crouching girl's gaze as she asked this. The girl was dumbfounded by this question. That was probably because this was entirely different from the sort of words she was expecting to hear. Even Reinhard, who did not know their circumstances, could tell that their relationship was not a friendly one. The girl, who seemed to have the wind taken out of her sails, scratched her cheek as she tried to compose herself, and repeatedly tapped the unconscious old man's head as if to hide her embarrassment.
Something like that. To me, the old man Rom is my only... thing like a grandpa, I guess.
I see. I've only got one family member, too. He's always asleep when it matters. I could never say that sort of thing while he's awake, though.
Yeah, I couldn't say this sort of thing if Grandpa Rom was awake either.
It seemed like her blows to Rom's head were becoming more than just taps. This was probably unintentional. Her pace increased as well, and his round white head started turning red. She then looked up at Amelia with a fragile light in her red eyes.
I thought you'd be way harsher.
I suppose he would. Perhaps I would have if things were the way that they were before. But it seems I don't feel like it now. So I'll let it go out of consideration for that kid's face. Just a little, though.
Amelia shrugged her shoulders with a wry smile, like it just couldn't be helped. When she did this and pointed Subaru out, the blonde girl lowered her face for a bit, and then quietly mouthed an apology.
Saved my life. Can't act ungrateful. I'll return what I stole.
Saying this, she stood up and directed her gaze toward the alley. She then addressed Amelia.
Listen, when I came back, I wasn't sure you guys were even alive, so I hid it elsewhere. Is it fine if I go retrieve it?
I see you're rather cautious. I don't dislike it, though. I'll wait here.
Are you sure? I might be making stuff up to run away, you know.
Running is fine, but you'll have that coming after you, you know?
Reinhard, or that, as Amelia referred to him, straightened his posture. It was a mystery what the blonde girl felt when she saw him do this.
Eh?
She let out a sound showing deep displeasure, and then dashed into the alley, saying she'd be right back.
Once she comes back and returns everything, we'll finally be able to go back, huh?
I won't ask for details, but do be careful. I shall have a squad join you. Please allow them to accompany you on your way home.
going that far is... Even if I say that, I suppose it hardly makes a difference considering how much trouble I've already put you through. Very well.
Having received her consent, Reinhard responded.
Understood.
He then followed her gaze to Subaru, who was sleeping peacefully.
Well then, what is your relationship with him? With Subaru?
Passing acquaintances?
Reinhard was taken aback by her immediate answer. Perhaps finding his reaction amusing, Amelia's lips broadened into a smile.
That's all I can tell you. We really are just passing acquaintances. I don't even remember meeting him prior. I believe just now should have been our first meeting.
However, he was looking for you. He said he wanted to give you something. He was here during all of this, and also...
He put his line on the life to protect you. Reinhard hesitated to speak this next part out loud. It felt like doing so would somehow sully the nobility of his actions. He surely did not do it to receive praise. Furthermore, Amelia probably understood without having to be told. She continued from the part Reinhard did not speak out loud.
That's what's strange about it. Although I do suspect that pervert might have something to do with this.
Please refrain from speaking poorly of Lord Roswell. He is a magnificent person. It is true that he is somewhat eccentric, but...
You know who I was talking about, so it's rather obvious what you think of him.
My apologies. Please keep this secret from Lord Roswell.
Reinhard winked as he apologized, and Amelia ambiguously replied.
Right.
After this, Reinhard once again raised the topic of Subaru.
What shall we do with him? If you wish to leave him to me, my family can take him in as a guest.
No, I'll take him with me. I'll be able to find out exactly who he is, and even supposing he isn't connected to that pervert, that fact remains the same that he saved me. Thank you for your concern.
She finished, and Reinhard responded with a nod. With that, their discussion had concluded for the most part. What was left was to assign some subordinates to Amelia and escort her safely home. In the meantime, Reinhard would also have to deal with the aftermath. Taking a look at the collapsing building, Reinhard closed his eyes at the scale of the damage. As usual, he cursed his lack of self-control. He had failed to restrain just a bit of his power, and this was the result. His power could wipe away the entire region if used carelessly. He had to be cautious.
What's going to become of this place?
We'll forbid entry into the area for a while, and put up some wanted posters for the Bowel Hunter. Although there's always plenty of shady rumors surrounding her, so there's a good chance that it would only be a waste of time.
And that girl and the old man?
I'm unsure of their circumstances, but considering my duty as a knight, I do not believe I can overlook their actions. However...
He paused and took a breath, and then shrugged slightly.
It's my day off. And besides, if the victim does not file a complaint, it would be difficult to pursue this matter due to a lack of evidence. Seriously, I don't know the situation, so...
You're a bad knight.
Sadly, this is the true nature of the man known by such titles as the Knight Among Knights.
As they spoke, Reinhard sensed someone approaching them from the alley. From her gait and breathing, he knew it was that girl without even needing to look. The snaggletooth girl showed herself, and looked at them with an embarrassed expression.
Brought it back like I said I would.
Great. I'm glad you're back. I'd feel really guilty if I had to set this guy on you.
The Knight Among Knights. He insane to try to outrun someone like that. My first time seeing someone faster than me. Shocked me quite a bit.
Responding to her gaze with a smile, Reinhard took a step back and watched the two. The girl approached Amelia while fishing around her chest.
Alright, I'm returning this. Important to you, conceal it so it doesn't get stolen next time.
I find it a bit strange to receive that warning from you of all people. If possible, I prefer you stop doing this sort of thing entirely.
That's impossible. let me tell you, I only wanted to return this to you because you saved my life. I don't think I've done anything wrong, and I have no intentions of stopping.
She bluntly refused Amelia's request and donned a stubborn smile. Her profile felt rather tragic when one considered her age. Even as he heard her position on the matter, Reinhard silently accepted it. He knew that this definitely wasn't something he should overlook considering his responsibilities. But how else could they survive? It wouldn't be right to simply speak of justice without even offering an alternative. Reinhard's thoughts were the result of all he had seen in the capital. Amelia seemed to feel it as well. She lowered her eyes for one fleeting moment, and then extended her hand without pressing the matter any further.
I see. You're pretty stubborn, huh?
I might stop if food just appeared before me without me having to do anything. Anyway, here you go.
The object she took out was in the palm of her hand. She was returning what appeared to be the stolen item to Amelia. For an instant, a red shine flashed by his eyes. That dazzling light felt familiar, and in an instant Reinhard narrowed his eyes and searched his ocean of memories. He then found a memory that matched.
Reinhard?
He grabbed her hand, which was holding the insignia, from the side. Surprise filled both the girls' eyes. The two of them looked up at Reinhard and hesitated to say anything further when they saw his serious expression and gaze.
That hurts. Let go.
Felt weakly shook her head as she resisted. However, Reinhard's grip on her hand showed no signs of loosening. Reinhard's strength was such that he could even crush steel if he wished. Although he was holding back, it definitely wasn't the sort of grip a dainty girl could shake off.
What is this?
A quavering murmur. It had come from Reinhard's mouth. It was Amelia who responded to his words. Her amethyst eyes seemed shaken.
Reinhard, wait! I do understand that it wouldn't be easy to let her off like that, but she didn't know the insignia's true value. And I, the person who she stole it from, don't intend to make an issue of it either. It was also at fault of letting her get stolen, so...
That's not it, Lady Amelia. That's not what I'm worried about.
Firm tone of his response caused Amelia to fall silent with a perplexed expression. Even disregarding his rudeness toward her, Reinhard looked at the girl whose arm he was holding. Looking up at the young man whose hair was the same color as her crimson eyes, her eyes wavered with unease.
What is your name?
Well...
Your surname. How old are you?
I'm an orphan, you know. I don't have anything fancy like a surname. My age is probably around 15 or so, I'm told. I don't know my birthday. Hey, let me go!
The girl returned to her usual self as they spoke, and struggled as she yelled in a coarse tone. However, Reinhard kept her in check with his dexterous control over his strength as he fixed his eyes on Amelia.
Lady Amelia, I can no longer uphold our agreement. I shall take charge of her.
May I ask about the reason? If it's about punishment for stealing my insignia.
That is certainly no small sin, but compared to the sin of overlooking what's happening in front of me, it's but a trifling matter.
Amelia raised her eyebrow in confusion and incomprehension. Reinhard deemed her confusion something that couldn't be helped, and simply accepted it. After all, this was a sight she was used to. It would probably be cruel to tell her to notice it.
I would like to take you with me. My apologies, but you do not have the right to refuse.
Don't get carried away just because you saved...
Her foul-mouthed response to his words was interrupted when her body went limp. Her shoulders mysteriously lost their strength before she could finish, and she resentfully glared at Reinhard to the very end.
To hell, damn it.
After she hurled this final abuse, her head slumped. Supporting her unconscious body, Reinhard smoothly carried her under his arm. In response to his practiced movements, Amelia spoke.
That's not very knightly of you either. If you're too harsh, there'll be lasting effects on her gait.
Fortunately, I've had to deal with this from birth, so I understand how to control it. Lady Amelia, it seems you may soon receive a summons. Please understand.
He gently took the insignia from the unconscious girl's hand and presented it to Amelia. The draconic insignia truly appeared to symbolize the dragon kingdom of Lagunica itself. The red jewel emitted a faint glow in Reinhardt's hand. When it passed to Amelia, it shone brilliantly, as if overjoyed to be reunited with its owner.
I shall leave Subaru in your hands.
Reinhardt bowed to Amelia, who wordlessly gazed at him when she accepted the insignia. As he felt the weight of the light girl in his arms, he suddenly brushed the bangs covering her forehead aside. Her cherubic white features possessed a charm befitting her age now that she was unconscious, and thus had no need to brace herself. If he gave her a change of clothes and got the alley's grime off her, she would surely shine brightly. A strong wind blew, causing Reinhardt's red bangs to dance. He looked up at the sky through that gap. It was already dusk, and the moon floated in the capital sky. The full moon shone a faint bluish white. Its beauty was filled with a certain bewitching charm.
Today may be my final opportunity to calmly gaze upon the moon.
Reinhardt's whisper did not reach anyone but the moon looking down at him.
And that was the end of Arc 1. Great job, everybody.
Yay, we did it!
Oh, silver-haired,
the
whatever.
story.
That was rough.
Silver
That's what
hair,
this story's all about.
eyes. Amelia is Tapei's
Silver
number
Bell.
1.
Where was it? No,
And that's the
Did
end
an
of
amazing
ReZero.
job, guys. Can I just say?
there it is,
Palazar?
silver-haired girl. I don't know
There you are.
why I tripped over that so hard.
It's because it said like 20 times.
Silver-haired girl.
Yeah, but we hear it so often that your brain just fills it in even if you don't say it right.
Yeah.
Can I just say, Palazar, that last line delivery with Reinhardt was amazing. You did such a good job
Fire.
of emoting.
Yeah.
Thank you. When Pat said he couldn't make it, I turned on that episode and then re-listened to like a bunch of his lines from the past few weeks this morning.
He'd be very pleased to hear that, that's for sure.
Reinhardt's probably one of my favorite characters in the story. And this version
Valid.
of the interlude really, really highlights why, of just how similar he is on the inside to Subaru.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's probably top 5 for me character-wise. I love Reinhardt. I'm really excited to see more of him later on in the story, especially to see him interact more with Subaru, because their dynamic is one of my favorite in the entire series.
Absolutely. I have
Oh, go ahead.
expectations for what's going to happen with Arc 8 or 9 now, I guess, because it got pushed
Ooh.
back.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, that's supposed to be the Felt camp, but we'll see when we get there.
Oh, okay. I've seen a lot of stuff on Twitter for Arc 8, and it looks so freaking hype that I'm very excited for us to keep going. I cannot wait to learn more about what's going on in this damn series.
Yeah, in Arc 7 and 8, we're going to get a load of... I think practically everyone will get a role. It's going to be so much fun.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I think with Arc 6 coming up, because the cast is so small, and each chapter, I think at most we have maybe 10 characters per chapter, but for the most part rotating like 4 to 5. We should be able to plow through it much quicker than Arc 5, especially now that we have a routine in mind.
Oh, isn't Art 6 with Louis?
Wait,
Or is that
that's
something
sure. That's a bit of a spoiler. Yes, you're not
Oopsies.
wrong. No,
Sorry.
that's okay. No, that's okay. Everyone who's seen ReZero already knows it. So,
Okay.
yes, a special character that I'm excited to hear you play. Absolutely, it's that one.
I need to look up my audition again because I don't remember why I made her sound like
Oh!
I know it took so long. I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay. That's why I hold on to all of my work. It's in my drive, so.
God
That's
bless.
so big-brained.
Kyles, are you gonna put all these live streams, at least for like Arc 1, into their own playlist?
Yes, so now that Arc 1 is done, I am going to be chopping up each of the live streams, downloading them, and taking the actual chapter out. So the live stream will still stay on our live tab, but I'm going to keep them under live stream reading. So it's going to be in order of when they're recorded. And then the actual Arc 1 chapters will have their own playlist by themselves. We'll do the same with Arc 2, 3, and 4. Arc 5 has its own, and that way it's going to be easier for people who just want to listen. I will be making...
don't want to listen to us yip-yapping for like 30 minutes.
On our Spotify playlist, I have it broken up by chapters as well. So like Arc 5, Chapter 1, and then it has our talking after. So people can skip that if they want, but if people want to hear everything, it's 2 separate audio files. And then also YouTube introduced a podcast section, so I'm going to see if I can add those in so that all the live streams can just go there. They're easy to click on, and it's more accessible. I'll have to make a new account for each arc that we do. So Arc 1 will also be on Spotify. I have to update the rest of Arc 5 as well on Spotify too. And so it's going to be organized by arc, and then live streams will just be in order that they happen. So it's going to be a little tricky because YouTube doesn't make it that organized. So if anybody's trying to watch it in order, you're going to have to scroll a little bit until I can like actually organize it in its own separate playlist. But that'll be in the coming month, hopefully.
Get together, YouTube. What the frick, man?
Yeah, what the frick, YouTube?
Screw YouTube.
But you know what? They're coming in more clutch for us than Twitch, so God bless.
Fair enough.
Yeah, YouTube can be a real YouTube sometimes.
They're at least trying to make improvements.
Yes.
Unlike Twitch.
Unlike
We're just
Twitch.
like, no, we're here. Everything's fine. Why would we ever need to change?
You're not American? Let's take more money from you. Thank you so much!
Let's make more changes to all those streamer stuff.
Also, if you're not in North America or some main countries that like sponsor Twitch, it is so hard to access Twitch. That's why some of our VAs can't even go on there. Which I learned the hard way. Drad and Pat filled me in on that.
Aw.
Oh.
But it works well for YouTube.
Yeah. I just checked. Arc 7 has 80 named characters in it.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, like I said, we're gonna have a feast.
So, everybody, halfway through Arc 6, you're going to be seeing a lot of internal auditions, and then once we fill up our internal auditions with all of our cast, we'll be going live with some community auditions, so hold on tight for that. Because there's no fucking way we can all do that many.
Yeah, I will.
I've done 30 before.
Ayo!
I didn't like it. Please don't make me go back.
Say all these time to get your quota.
Oh no.
I've already taken so many characters where I talk to myself a lot of times.
Yep.
I won't say for spoiler reasons, but I won't be able to voice any other characters because I'll have my work cut out for me in Arc 7 and 8. I'm gonna have to.
Oh yeah, Teobi, you will not be allowed to audition for any others. I'm pretty sure the character we have you as is a main character.
Oh, okay.
I think for the
Fair enough.
4 arcs, or the next several arcs, you're like one of the main cast.
Ooh, nippy. I'm not going to get murked by a witch and then be just, last you see of me, I'm groaning in a bed.
You got a promotion.
Yeah, that character, like, they're there, but they honestly don't speak that much, so they probably can.
It's meant to be more audible and understandable than like the initial translations make it out to be. If you look closely, you can see the words that are trying to be said. It just takes a little.
But it's I think it's mostly fragmented words, but
yeah.
Oh yeah, it's not ever a lot at once, but it's often.
Yeah.
Huzzah!
Because Arc 6 is so big and long, and it's a small cast, we do have backup voice actors already queued up for Arc 6. So, and if our call-ups end up not being able to, we open it up to the rest of our cast as well, so that we have a rotating list. Our narrators are going to be an extensive list because we have so many VAs who don't have actual chapter reads. So we're going to have a lot of our cast. We're going to have potentially some community members. We're trying to get more YouTubers involved. So if there's any YouTuber creator that you really like or interested in, feel free to, if they ever ask on their streams or stuff, to be like, hey, Studio Reverie is looking for content creators for Arc 6. Get them to DM myself or Studio Reverie. Because sometimes they don't listen to Kyle's, but they listen to their viewers.
Well, so what did everyone think of Arc 1? Tealdi, you with your limited experience especially?
Like it. It really establishes how out of place he is, but he's adapting well. I believe in Subaru. He'll get the hang of this.
Somebody
Barely.
He gets there. It's a lot of growing pains.
Yeah, But this is quite an interesting thing. I do want to hear your opinion a bit on it, TLD, because a lot of people, when I especially first started watching ReZero, told me Subaru was really annoying, but I never found him annoying, like, in the first couple arcs. I just thought he was, like, just really lonely and sad.
I will say, I said it forever ago, but I'll say it again. Hearing your Subaru first before watching the English dubs has put me off of the English dubs version of Subaru. I prefer yours.
Whoa, really?
Aww.
Because Brit, you are Subaru to me. It's not like a different one. It's just like, nah, he's better. So I watched the English dubs with that. It's like, yeah, he did it better.
Oh, Tealdi, you can make me cry. What the heck? Oh, that's so
Just because I'm so used to it at this point, because I listened to the readings and everything so much before I ever watched the anime, so now just in my head, it's like, nope, it's not right. It's Wolf. Who's this loser?
Oh my god.
Just a quick disclaimer, because
leave
Sean
Sean
Chiplock
Chiplock.
sometimes watches our stuff. We do love you. We do appreciate you. This is just
You're
a
great.
taste.
It's not
Pharrell.
a personal
Wait, he
attack on your
does?
skill or anything. It's just my personal preference. You did delightful. It just wasn't my cup of tea.
It's just not your
Yeah,
Subaru.
well-
That's okay.
Exactly.
Yeah, well, Crunchyroll doesn't
Disclaimer's
give
good.
British voice actors anything besides butlers.
They never do.
Rude.
And he's not even British.
Do you know what the worst thing is though? The amount of times I've heard a British accent in a dub and I've looked up the voice actor and it's an American voice actor.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
The only one that gets a pass is J. Michael Tatum.
Because he's simply one hell
Do
of a
you know
butler.
what? Fair enough, I can give you that. Have you guys ever watched Spice and Wolf?
I've been meaning to. It's on my to watch list.
Yeah,
It
Polo's
is-
given a British accent.
Yeah, but I don't believe the voice actor is British. But I will say, the dub for that's pretty good, especially as early dubs come. And the show is amazing. Although, I would actually recommend, if anyone is planning to watch it, you wait because the remake is coming out.
A remake?
Yeah, there's a remake coming. I really like the new art style for it as well.
Yeah, but I kind of wish that they had just started from where they left off. Not gonna lie.
I don't think it would have been a good idea. Just because it has
I know
been-
that they cut out something from the first season, but
They cut out quite a bit, actually.
Really?
Yeah. From what
my
I'm
friend who
remembering.
loves that series made it seem like they didn't cut out that much.
From what I remember, maybe I'm misremembering. It's been like 3 years since I've read the light novel. But
Matterfield in the chat is saying that they skipped an entire volume.
Yes, yes, one volume is what I was told.
Which I consider to be quite a bit of content. But I think it's a really good opportunity to get people new into Spice and Wolf. Because it is a series that deserves the attention, in my opinion. It is one of those stories up there, like, level masterpiece. It's one of the few light novel series I've read to, like, completion. At least the initial series of it. So yeah, I could not recommend it highly enough, honestly.
I'll have to find some way to watch it.
Heck
There
yeah.
are always ways.
There are always
I
ways.
honestly, going back to Arc 1 here, I think this is probably the most enjoyable version of it between the light novel, anime, and the web novel. I've not gone through the manga yet, so that might be different, but getting the insight into Subaru's struggles already at this point, instead of just being the most generic standard isekai protagonist for 3 episodes, is a big relief.
I honestly, out of all of the versions, I think the web novel is the one I have enjoyed the most out of Arc 1. I don't think they referenced Roswell at all in the anime or the light novel for the interlude, right?
They definitely did not in the anime.
I
I've
didn't
watched
realize-
that last episode several times, but I'll check the light novel now.
I didn't realize Amelia thought of Roswell as a like a pervert too.
Pervert.
I fucking loved that. I was like, let's go.
I think it's more of an eccentric.
Yeah.
Is probably how she feels about him.
Yeah, it's but it's also like a very common thing, like with people that even don't know Roswell, they kind of consider him to be like an eccentric weirdo, basically. Just because.
Which he is.
Yeah,
He
because
is.
Roswell is like the furthest thing from a human being a human could be.
He is. It's just it always seems in the anime that Amelia is just like, yeah, whatever. He is what he is. But here she's actually like, yeah, no, he's kind of weird though.
Nice. He's kind of gross.
Yeah,
Kind of gross.
the impression I got from the light novel too was actually that Amelia doesn't really like Roswell too much.
Yeah. In the anime, it felt more like she was just kind of like, well, he's all right.
But
how? He's so likable.
You're biased.
Yeah, like,
I'm
like
joking.
I could tell that she more tolerated him than anything, but it wasn't as outright stated.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
She does call him pervert. It like explicitly here. It's
Oh, yeah.
Akari Sureshi Kari ni hentai no kankekisha. So it like explicitly calling him a pervert.
Roswell, you perv.
But I'm actually really interested to see how Arc 2 of the web novel looks, especially Roswell and Subaru's dynamic, because that's actually one of the highlights of Arc 2 for me.
Agreed.
Mm-hmm.
There's a secret pervert in the Mathers estate, though. If everyone knows the character I'm thinking about.
Oh, I do.
Yeah.
No.
Sure. She does reference him in the light novel as well. They just cut it from the anime.
Ah, shit.
I do like how Amelia didn't name him, but Reinhardt to me it was like, no, he's a proper dude. He's regal and everything. He tries his best. Like, look, I already know what you think of him. You already knew who I was talking about.
Yeah. Although he does have 1,000,001 divine protections that could have easily just told her exactly who he was referring to.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, he's got like the weird mind reading one or whatever.
From my understanding, Reinhardt doesn't like using that.
Yeah.
Just because Mr. Reinhardt is like the Chad of Chads, as it has been said.
Yes.
The chadliest of chads.
Virgin Subaru versus Chad Reinhardt.
There was no better way to translate that and keep the meaning than Chad of Chads.
Honestly, your localization so far has been fucking on point, Connor.
Oh yeah, it's very good.
It's official then. Reinhard, the Chad of Chads.
The Chad of
Yeah.
Chads.
I almost started laughing when I read that line. I was trying to keep that together.
You did good. Yeah, I heard you hold it together.
Chad of chads and alpha of alphas.
We've been asked, will you ever do the other if stories?
That's a fantastic question. We want to so badly, but they are owned by Yen Press, and therefore we could lose the entire channel if we do. However, there are ways to do it like Echidna did.
I don't think the ifs are.
No?
There are two if
I
stories
think
that
that we
are.
just I think that we just like we should avoid any side stories that ended up in EX novels.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
That's about it. And maybe and if we do ifs or side stories, they'll probably be member only.
Yeah, probably just to keep it, because we could put it on Discord pretty easily or Patreon. I have to look into the legalities of it. If it does work, I mean, we would happily record it because they're a lot of fun to do.
Oh yeah. We also can't do the only if we cannot do for sure is Greed.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because that one got made into its own thing, into its own story.
Well,
It's not translated yet, but it will be.
But
The Sloth If did too, but it still exists on the license-free website.
That's what I mean. The web novel version of the Greed If should still be available, right?
Yeah.
It's
I don't
on
know if it
Witch
stayed
Cult,
up or not.
and
Yeah,
it's a web
but
novel.
it's probably better to avoid it just in case.
I'll run it by Fanta, because Fanta knows all the legalities and he has the insight to like what Witch Cult has had to deal with in the past. So if we can do it, I would not be mad about it. We've done Lustiff before, but that one's like, you know, that one's just on
But
the
it's
table.
now retranslated, so it might be time.
Exactly. I would love to do the ifs personally, because I find I can't read the web novel myself. I have an easier time with our voice actors, so I think it'd be great if we could. We got to look into the legalities of it. If we can, for sure. I've also wanted to do like all the side content too.
Yeah,
but
the side stories.
It's tricky.
I'm just saying, I'll bring back Pride Subaru in a heartbeat.
Yeah, I know you will. I know you will. There are some spin-offs, like the interlude for Arc 4 to Arc 5. There's one where Amelia and Betty have a sleepover. I think that's allowed. I was gonna do that with Kiki and find a narrator for that one because it's nice, cute, sweet, really quick. But I think
There's
Gold.
6 interludes that season 2 skipped
Yeah.
between 4 and 5.
And that would be really sick. If we can do that. I think Gold is right. It'd probably be like a member-only one, which I know sucks, and I'm sorry, but that's how we would get it going until we figure something else out.
Yeah. If
be
we
sure to
do
tune
one
in
of
while people
the if we do one of the 3 idiots, we can prepare Wolf for Arc 7.
Oh.
We'll watch the spoilers going forward for that. There are some people in the chat who have no idea what that's even referring to.
Yeah.
I know. That's why I was being vague.
We love vagueness.
I mean, sure. To be fair, I also would use another side story to practice too that I'm thinking of.
True.
But yeah, if we're gonna do one, guaranteed it's Lust If again. I'm debating if we're gonna do it here or if we're gonna do it on my channel. It'd probably be my channel and linked to ours, just because of how spicy it is. And Reverie is like a PG-13 kind of setup due to monetization and just how we're branding and everything. So, but my channel is crazy as hell.
Not.
So, so we can do it there and post it, and then that way our voice actors can also have their different PFPs like we did in the original reading. That was chaotic as hell. Because that shit would get us canceled real quick, you know.
Willow's animatics though, they hit different.
Oh, Willow's animatic. That you can still see on our channel. I still link the community animatics. If you are somebody who makes animatics and likes our antics and wants to post one, just tag us and we will add you to that as well. We love them. Jace made some. Willow's made some. Yes, they're so good.
Let me vent.
Sus! That's one. Oi! No, we ain't talking about that here. Kyle's has some stuff coming up, yes, that focuses on games, but we don't talk about it on Reverie. Reverie is where Kyle's is the most say-so. Kyle's does not say so elsewhere. I'm a manager here. We don't talk about that here. Yes. So that was Arc 1. I hope everyone enjoys that. I think that's about it for our stream. Friends who are in the stream with us, we'll continue talking outside of the stream and catch up, see how everyone's doing. But I think that's the end of stream for today. We've gone a while. So yeah, any last words from anyone? If not, we'll just say goodbye.
Don't forget
All I want
share
to
the
s-
videos.
Yes, like the videos, watch the videos.
Definitely.
Like, subscribe, share.
Smash that bell icon.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you for being here.
Thank you
And I
everyone
look-
for stopping by.
And I look forward to the next arc.
Yay, next arc! All right. Goodbye, live. Goodbye. Goodbye, chat. We love you all. Thank you all for being here today.
Bye, chat.
Bye, Chad.
Bye, chat.
See you